Hope everyone is doing well today on this beautiful Shabbat day. I want to say blessings to everyone today, worldwide, to the Mishpachah, throughout the four corners of the earth, everywhere where the Most High has scattered us. Blessings to you all on this beautiful Shabbat day, that we may all come together and worship Him in spirit and in truth. To those that will be listening later on the rebroadcast on the Tuv, let us also send our blessings to you, that you may hear the Most High's words and learn and make the necessary adjustments to make those changes. Again, thank you all for coming out today in service to serve the Most High. We're going to begin shortly. I'm going to have Elder come in to pray shortly. Baruch atah Yahuwah Elohei Melech Olam Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav Vitzanu Leshmo Kol Shofar. Blessed are you, Yahuwah, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by your commandments and calls us to hear the voice of the shofar. Hallelujah. Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malkoto Leolam, Vayed. Amen. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah our Elohim is one. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah, whose glorious kingdom is forever. And Sirach 18:23 says, before you press, prepare yourself, and be not as one that tempteth Yahuwah. At this time, we'll face towards the east, towards our home, and we'll ask Elder to open up with a word of prayer.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, Elder, we can hear you loud.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom, family. This is the day Yahuwah has made. We're going to rejoice and give Him thanks and praise. Hallelujah. Let us pray. Father, it is a good thing to give you thanks each and every day that you have blessed us to live to see another day, another Shabbat, another blessing. Therefore, Holy Father, we always are grateful before you, to you, to say thank you for sparing our lives. Thank you for blessing us with life, with health. Those that are sick, those that are recovering, those that have lost their loved ones, Father, we pray that thou may visit each family, each home. Visit us on this broadcast today. May you anoint, may you bless, may you guide us. May you be with us today. May you speak to our teacher, speak through him, for him, anoint him with your blessing, anoint him with your spirit. Father, and also our reader, Brother Oshe, Brother Yona, have mercy upon all of us and bless us. Help us to enjoy that wonderful Shabbat today. As we're going to hear your words, Father, we give you all the thanks and praise because we ask it through your Son, Yeshua, we pray. Each and everyone say, Amen and Amen. Our Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come.
hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
Deliver us from
Lead us
evil.
not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
I want to say shalom to Brother Mike. Hopefully you can hear.
Shabbat shalom, Moshe. Shabbat shalom to everyone. I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing good. All praises. Brother Mike is going to be our reader today as we get straight into class. Today's class is called Edom, End of the World. This is a class that I've been putting together for some time now. A while back, I've been putting bits and pieces, a lot of research, Mishpachah, and as we know, it's not like you can just grab the first thing you see and go with it. You have to dig deep, because the way how information is there 1 minute and the next minute is not there. And if you're not fast enough, they will try to bury it and hide it. And the way how the enemy works too is he will give you on one end and say, you know what, this is not what this is. And as you break it down more, then they will say on the other hand, this is what it is. For example, they would say, and we'll get into this too, that Edom is no longer in existence. And then as you dig deeper and you ask about certain individuals within the family of Edom, oh yes, they're over here, and they're the ones who did this, and they're the ones who present today. But then you just said that they no longer existed. So when you dig deeper, you find out all of what the truth is that the enemy has been trying to hide. And the purpose of today's class is to edify our people, to solidify that we are the people of the book. And all of these things that we have been learning over the years from the outside, they have been trying to hide and suppress a lot of it. But the Most High is Elohim that keeps commandments, keeps covenants, and he is not going to go against what he has put out from the beginning. So today's class, we're going to talk about the life, the character, and the man, the myth, the legend they call Esau, Edom, end of the world. So before we begin this class, I would like all who is listening to understand that everything we discuss here is all based off of the Most High's will and purpose. Because again, in some people's mind, when we look at some of the classes that we have done in time past, in their mind, they're thinking that, it's something where the Most High is a racist. Some people say that, or he's this or he's that. And yes, the Most High chooses what he chooses and selects what and who he selects. We have no say in that. We're not people that hate people or dislike this or dislike that. We follow the Torah. If the Most High says righteousness is right, then we follow righteousness. And wickedness is wrong, and we're supposed to hate wickedness and leave the wrong behind. And in the mind of the world, the system that the devil has put together, he's pushing that love doctrine, that love mentality of everybody just have to love and forget about what the laws has put out. And we're going to see how all of that is cleverly pushed behind the scenes, okay? So we all have to understand that the designer designed everything to his pleasure. When you have a designer, he's the one doing the designing. We don't, like if one of you in the class have a skill, like say you're a seamstress or a tailor, and you're putting together, from your mind, you're creating this garment. No one can come in and say, this is how we want it, unless you're making it for us. But if you're coming from your own thoughts and you're making this the way you want to make it, everything comes from up here, and you design it the way how you want it for your own way, for your own pleasure. It's the same way how the Most High has designed everything that we see today, the earth, the stars, sun, moon, the animals, the plants. Everything is according to his pleasure, and nothing that we are doing is according to what we want. Everything has to be according to what he wants. So today's class is all based off what the scripture's saying. This is not some hate class or whatever it is. This is just history and the truth the way it is. Because if it was flipped the other way and we were on the other side, we would have to accept the same faith, okay? Most High create stuff for its purpose, and that's the bottom line, as they would say. Today we are going to examine the historical written records. We will look at the birth, so we're going to look at the birth of the descriptions and all these different things that the Bible focus on, the character of this individual and his offspring, the lifestyle that they live, and all the prophecies pertaining to the man and his nation called Edom. So get your pens or pencils and your paper. Get ready to take some notes, because this is going to be a long, lengthy class. I have 1 or 2 little videos just to pop in there to kind of give us some more visual to help us grow understanding, to understand the truth more. Hallelujah. All right, like in the Garden of Eden, the devil understands how to use cunning words and mask the lies. This is what he does. No different to today with his wicked propaganda, making many believe that the seed and lineage of Esau is no more in existence today. Because if you ask some people, they'll tell you, Esau doesn't exist no more. And you're like, how does that? See, they would spin 2 lies to you. They would say Israel doesn't exist and Esau doesn't exist. And that's a clever plan. The enemy just tries to delete all of that to bring in the inclusion and the love doctrine. So those of you who are selected can be confused and be like, well, if we don't exist and if the enemy doesn't exist, then the world is safe. The world is at peace. And this is a lot of the things that they are trying to push all over the world in many different cases, okay? But we will prove with the Most High's words, Mishpachah, that he is still alive and killing, not kicking. Esau is still prevalently alive and killing. We'll see that today. Man has been the focal point of this great war. I did a class a long time ago called War, Wickedness Against Righteousness. And the story has been written of long before it even started. So when people like to bring the fact that, oh, this is just some hate speech, hate doctrine, they don't understand that the Most High has put all of this into play long before we even came into existence. And a lot of people think that the Most High messed up. He made a mistake. And by correcting the mistake, he had to send his son and all kinds of different things they'll come up with. Well, Mishpachah, the Most High don't make mistakes. Everything that you see is planned accordingly. And some things, it's like you are a gardener and you plant this plant here and the plant is growing. But because of the normal circumstances of how things are flowing in nature, because he allowed nature to flow, there are things that you have to correct along the way. You have to prune the tree. You have to till the soil. These are different things that you have to do to cultivate so it can grow fruit. It's no difference to the lineage and lifestyle of all mankind. We understand from the beginning that before the first world, because the first world is Adam and Eve, and the second world is from Noah to present day. So the first world, everyone had opportunity. The word was there, the laws were there, everything was there. And we didn't go according to what the Most High put in place. So he just continued to flow, put his laws and statutes back into play, selected who he wanted to select, and let it flow again. And this is where we see it's fluid. It continues according to his will, not according to our will. And because we have the mentality and understanding of physical flesh, a brain, some things seem hard for us to understand, above our pay grade. And the Most High told us in his words, don't worry about those things. Worry about these little things. And when that time comes, everything will be explained to us. It's just like children. To our children, to the parents. The children can never understand the situations and circumstances the Most High has put into place. The children can't see what the parents have to go through. They have to go to work. They have to put these hours in. They have to do all these different things to keep food on the table, lights on, and all these different things. And they all they think of is just the little things around them. They want to play. They want to eat. Have a good time. It's the same with Mishpachah. Same way. Okay? So the word has been established long before. All right, Brother Mike, let's read this one. Genesis 36 and verse 1.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
Now, because a lot of people sometimes, and I'm not saying us here, but many people out there, they don't take the time to read, and then they don't have the connections. They don't see the connections of the characters when we're reading. When we're doing our studies, Mishpachah, we have to be like detectives. We have to be able to put all of the scriptures, the word, everything in front of us and break it down and be able to connect the dots so we can see exactly where and what and who, every character involved, everything involved, so we could better understand what we're reading. So Genesis 36 and verse 1 says, now these are the generations of Esau. Who is Edom? So a lot of people don't know that Esau is Edom. They don't know a lot of these things. So sometimes they miss the connection of that, and they clearly think that you're talking about something else. But reading is a beautiful thing. Okay. So Esau is Edom. And again, this is where we're going to begin. End of the world. Take a look at that picture, Edom. Because this is where we currently are today. At the end of this class, we're going to see where we're going to be going. Okay. Let's read Genesis 36 and verses 9.
Genesis 36 and 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
So now we have a little more context and clues to understand that Esau is the father of the Edomites. And they live in where? Mount Seir. So every time we read, we get more information, more clues, so we can have a clearer picture to understand who we're dealing with. So according to the Hebrew Bible, this is something that I copied from online. It says Esau is the progenitor of the Edomites. I mean, the one who bear the seed, who has offspring, right? And the elder brother of Jacob, because they were twins. The patriarch of the Israelites. So Esau is the patriarch of Edom. Jacob is the patriarch of Israel. All right. Jacob and Esau were the sons of Isaac and Rebekah, the grandsons of Abraham and Sarah. Of the twins, Esau was the first to be born, with Jacob following, holding his heel. Isaac was 60 years old when the boys were born. And sometimes we're reading, we don't quite understand why certain things are written the way it is. But Mishpachah, everything is perfectly written and put there according to the Most High's will, and revealed to us according to when he sees deemed for us to understand it. We could read Genesis 1 every day, and every day we learn something new about Genesis 1. That's just how beautiful the Most High is. And it's like you just keep spinning it, and you're like, man, this is more information, and it's the same verse. So as we're reading, we're going to see all these words connected. Esau is the father of the Edomites, and he and his family live in Mount Seir. Okay. So now we're going to look at the birth of Esau. Look at the screen. You can see the redness and the hairiness of the background. All right. We're going to start in the book of Jasher. We're going to be reading in the book of Jasher, Jubilees, and throughout Genesis and some other of the scriptures in the Bible. Okay. So go ahead, Brother Mike. Start with Jasher 26, verse 2, 3, 4, and then jump down to Genesis 25, verse 21.
Third. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my Adonai, that my mother Sarah was barren in her days until my Adonai Abraham, your father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Now therefore stand up. Pray you also to Elohim, and he will hear your prayer and remember us through his mercies. And Isaac answered his wife Rebekah, saying, Abraham has already prayed for me to Elohim to multiply his seed.
I'll pause a minute. Now, if you look at this, Mishpachah, in the class I did with the multiples, issue that all of these women had was bringing forth children. And I showed you all of the mothers that were there from those patriarchs. For some reason, they were all barren. But the Most High was the one who was behind the scenes bringing forth the children when he wanted them to come forth. And that's something very interesting. So Rebecca at this time was barren. Sarah was also barren, okay? But what's interesting here is when when Rebecca came to Isaac, sorry, and Isaac answered his wife Rebecca saying, my father, Abraham, has already prayed for me to Elohim to multiply his seed. He didn't say multiply my seed, he says his seed, because he's following the lineage of how everything was prophesied and ordered. Everything falls into place and falls into that order, that structure of order that the Most High has put into place. So Abraham, when the Most High blessed Abraham and says, I'm going to multiply you like the sand of the sea, and through you, the nations will be blessed. And all of these wonderful things come out of that. It was his seed that was being put into the world and put into play. So Isaac was basically just repeating exactly what the Most High told his father, Abraham. You're going to multiply my seed, and it's going to go through you and through your son and all your son's sons all the way down. So that was very interesting. Continue. Now, therefore,
his barrenness must proceed to us from you. And Isaac entreated Yahuwah for his wife, because she was barren. And Yahuwah was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Hallelujah. See, so Mishpachah, he was saying to Rebecca, you know how we are amongst our own spouses. We would say the problem is probably with you, Nah, Most High is the one in control of all of this. When it's time for you to bring forth children, he's the one that's going to open the womb and close the womb. He's the one that's going to take the seed and put it in the right place at the right time. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, we're not supposed to be worrying about all the other things, okay? So Isaac went to the Most High and he says, what's going on? You promised us already, and we're patiently waiting. And what happened? She conceived. All right, let's jump into verses 8 and verse 9 of Joshua 26.
And Yahuwah heard the prayer of Isaac, the son of Abraham, and Yahuwah was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Hallelujah.
And in about 7 months after, the children struggled together within her. And it pained her greatly that she was wearied on account of them. And she said to all the women who were in the land, did such a thing happen to you as it has to me? And they said unto her, no.
Now, this is again, when we're reading the history, puts information there that's important and vital for us to understand the whole picture. To the sisters out there, to our sisters out there who have had children, you know how this feels within your physical body. Now imagine if you had twins. Some of you may have had twins, some of you may not have had twins, but just picture that. The great pain that you go through to bring forth children. And this was because of disobedience again. The Most High put that upon us as a reminder of disobedience from the beginning. It says, you will bring forth children and it will be in pain. That's basically, I'm just paraphrasing what it says in Genesis. So this is something that she was going through. She was like, man, what is going on? Why am I having this great pain? Now, she didn't know that she was having twins right at that moment. She knew she was pregnant, but eventually she found out later on, as we're going to read, that she was having twins. But she went through to her nurses, her sisters, family members, other mishpachah around that was close by to her, and was asking them, are y'all going through the same problem? Because, there's women before her that had the experience, and a lot of them probably was like, probably not as the way you are going through it. So these are things that we also have to consider when we are doing the reading, to see how it all connects and why it comes together the way it comes together, okay? All right, let's look at Genesis 25 and verse 22.
Genesis 25 and 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Elohim.
Now, this has a lot to unpack in here. Again, what I'm doing is what I'm doing is bringing out the extra historical references that we find in Jasher with Genesis so we can have a clear picture, because it's layer upon layer so we can see. And you get more when you go back into Jasher. So in Genesis, it just tells us that she struggled with her pregnancy. The children were in there struggling, and she was trying to figure out why. And she went to inquire about the Most High. Now, the inquiring part is very, very important, because the Most High is going to reveal what's going on. Let's look at Romans 9 and verse 11, and then we're going to jump over to Isaiah 55 and 11.
For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Elohim according to election might stand, not for works, but of him that calleth.
Now, the inquiring that she's doing was like, why am I having this problem during my pregnancy? Why is it so hard on me? And not understanding it, the Most High was telling her, it's my purpose. I have a purpose and a selection that is going on within your womb. And it's going to be very important. Isaiah 55 and verse 11.
So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
What's important here, Mishpachah, is the purpose of Elohim is always going to be accomplished according to how he is pleased. It has nothing to do with us. We are just actors and actresses within the story that he has put out. This whole script that has been written, we are just playing a part. We're doing a role play in all of this here. So his purpose that he has is according to the election. The election that is talking about is him electing. It's like in our world today, there's what you call politics. And you have to have an election to know who you want to lead you. And if that's so easy to understand that we elect politicians and governors and presidents to lead us, can't the Most High elect a nation to be above and one below? Yes. So it says, according to the election might stand. So in order for this to happen, this struggle is going on within your womb. Okay? Let's look at verses 10 and 11 at Jasher 26.
And she said unto them, why am I alone in this amongst all the women that were upon earth? And she went to the land of Moriah to seek Yahuwah on account of this. And she went to Shem and Eber, his son, to make inquiries of them in this matter, and that they should seek Yahuwah in this thing respecting her.
Pause there a minute. When I'm reading this here, I was like, wow. And all the little clues that they're putting here, it continues from verses 9, where she's talking to the women amongst her, about her pregnancy. Why is this happening to me? She continues to say, amongst all the women on earth, I feel like I'm alone in this. That's how we always feel, Mishpachah. Individually, we always feel like we're alone in something. Just like what Rebbe showed you last week about Elijah. He thought he was alone, and the Most High says, I have a whole crew just standing by. Just be patient. I'm in charge of this. So again, we always believe that we are in it by ourselves, but we have a power above us that is taking care, and he's the one moving the pieces around the board. Also, she went to the land of Moriah. I was like, why is this mentioned here? This is important because this is where Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac. And it's a place where the family was heavily living in, okay? On account of Shem and Eber. This is where Shem and Eber and all of them were located. This is very important because this shows you that there is a passing down of information, a passing down of heritage, a passing down of how things are done, which these men that we're reading about here, Shem and Eber, were Torah-keeping people. So she is doing everything that she's supposed to do, going to her elders and finding out what is going on. Okay? Verse 11, go ahead.
And she also asked Abraham to seek and inquire of Yahuwah about all that had
befallen her. Okay. And now, again, this must have been the worst pregnancy ever, because I'm sure every sister here can attest and say, man, especially if you had more than one pregnancy, you're like, man, this one was the worst. This one was a little easier, but overall, pain is pain. Nobody wants to endure that. All right, verses 23 of Genesis 25. Let's see what Genesis has recorded on this.
And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Now, when I'm reading this, with just regular human brains and the way of thinking naturally, we say to ourselves, how can it possibly have 2 nations, 2 different people coming from the same seed? Let's go back here a minute. Read Romans 9 and verse 11, this last part right here. That
the purpose of Elohim, according to election, might stand. Not for work. Okay.
So it is the will of the Most High Mishpachah that he has put 2 different nations in one seed. 2 different nations in one seed. Remember, we can't put him in a box and says that's impossible, because all things are possible. He's the one that can create everything. This is why some of our people struggle with the virgin birth, as they would call it. It was like, oh, it's impossible that the Holy Spirit can be upon Mary and bring forth Yeshua. How is that impossible? Was it impossible for the Most High to create the world out of nothing? Was it impossible for the heavens to be above and the earth to be here? Can we even fathom how the fire works? How the sun and the moon and the stars operate? Because we're thinking from the physical brains that we have, okay? We can't understand all those great things the Most High has put into place. So, yes, 2 different nations of people were fighting. A war started in the womb long before it even happened. Okay, continue. And the one, right here.
And the one shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger.
So one people is going to be stronger, and one is going to be weaker. Older is going to serve the younger. This is the prophecy. So who's going to be stronger and who's going to be doing the serving? Who's the elder and who's the younger? Think about all that. If this is something that the Most High has put out his lips that does not come back voided, that means it continues. It has not ended yet. Joshua 26 and verse 12. Let's see the account of Joshua now.
They all inquired of Yahuwah concerning this matter.
Now notice it says they all. Sorry, Brother Mike. Notice it says they all inquired. That was Shem, Eber, Abraham, Isaac, and whoever else was around there. Because remember, she's in pain and she's going to everybody, man, help me out. Pray, figure out what's going on. Some of you who may have illness right now, and you have that little sickness that making you feel bad. Imagine this, and you're trying to figure out why do I have this upon me? Inquire to the Most High. He knows exactly what's going on. All right, let's go ahead. And they all inquired of Yahuwah concerning this matter.
And they brought her word from Yahuwah and told her, 2 children are in your womb, and 2 nations shall rise from them. And one nation shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger.
It's saying the same thing with a little more information. See, Mishpachah? Now let me pull this aside. I'm going to play a little video here, just so we can get a little context. Here. Here's a little video of two children in the womb, so we can kind of see how it looks. Now, this is just an illustration. This may not be how it exactly was, but this is something that we can get a visual, Mishpachah. You can see how the boys in there are just moving around, fighting. Imagine you sisters, you're walking around with this huge stomach in front of you, and they're kicking night and play it again. They're kicking night and day. And man, I can't get no ease. You're trying to sleep, and in the middle of the night, you're just feeling that boop, 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 boop. And you're moving around like, can't get no rest. So that's an example of how that would go, Mishpachah. All right, let's look at verses 13 of Joshua 26, and then we're going to go to Jubilees now. Introduce Jubilees account 19 and 12.
And when her days to be delivered were completed, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb, as Yahuwah had spoken to her.
And now this comes in importance here also, because we can see how the delivery process went. It's not like how they have today, where for you sisters know and you brothers who know, the women lay back on the table, lift their legs up, and push. It wasn't like that. That's modern day practice that they're doing. That's not even all the safest way to do it. It's always better for the woman to be in that position, stooping down. The gravity comes down, and it helps everything come out more fluid. Okay. So she's here kneeling down, and behold, there were twins. So now she's like, oh, I got twins. Okay, because the Most High just told her you have twins. Because remember, before she didn't know what was going on. And then when they came back, let's go back a minute. Let's go back up here a minute. When they came, and it says they brought her the word. They told her, Rebecca, guess what? You're having twins. She says, twins? You're having twins. And these twins are fighting right now. Esau is terrorizing Jacob. Even from the womb. Even before they come out, he's terrorizing Jacob. Poor Jake. He's busting Jacob in the head. And they're going back and forth at it. Okay? One is going to be stronger. Jake is going to be stronger. And Jake is going to rule over Esau. But for now, this is what's happening. And she was like, man, twins came out. Let's look at Jubilees 19 and 12.
And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rebekah bare to Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau.
Hallelujah. And you know, Mishpachah, if you Google the statistics today, they will tell you that our people have the highest rates of death to scare us. Notice now, they will tell you that people of color, when it comes to birth, they are more at risk. They're higher at risk in giving birth. But they'll push the abortions and all these other things just to stop you from having children. Remember, the Most High is the one giving us the opportunity to bring forth children. And when we were in captivity, when you look at Egypt, the story of Egypt, the historical records of Egypt, we were pushing out children faster than the Egyptians, faster than any other nation, without any problem. Even in records here throughout slavery in the United States and the Caribbean and all over the world, we were pushing out children in the fields without any problem. So when they tell you this narrative that our people have the worst statistics of bringing forth children, higher at risk, don't believe that. You have to understand that the Most High is in control, and he's going to bring forth seed according to what the prophecy has said from before. Okay, so she brought forth Jacob and Esau. Let's read verses 14 of Joshua 26.
And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. And all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying that this one was made complete from the womb.
Hallelujah. So we have some information here, Mishpachah, of what we are looking at as far as what is described. And when I was reading this years ago, it to the eyes of Christianity, it didn't make sense. But as I dig deeper and research for myself, it made sense. All of the pieces start to come together. The light bulb went off. Bing! And you start to understand and says, wait a minute. Everything is written here for a reason, is giving us information about something. It's telling us there's a difference about something. The first clue that we had, Mishpachah, was there were two nations that were fighting in the womb. So we know already there's going to be a distinction. That's the first clue. Let's read Genesis 25 and 25.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
And it gives us this information that he was red, he was hairy like a garment, and his name is Esau. The names connect, the names have the meanings of what it's describing, okay? Names are not just created like today. Sadly, our people just create names just because it sounds good. But there's always a deeper meaning behind what or why this person is named this way. If you as a person experience something, or if something happened within an environment, these names come up for a reason. If you look at every name throughout the Bible, and you Google or you research, look up the meaning of those names, it will tell you exactly what was going on with the parent, or the family, or the environment. Something was bad, something was good. Something was a blessing, something was a curse. Something happened. So the names were put there. So in this case, Esau came out red and hairy. Why? Why is this so important? Before we move on, let's just look at the names here. We're going to pull up Esau, Seir, Edom, Idumea, okay? But I told you earlier that a lot of people don't know that these all are the same. This Esau, Seir, Edom, Idumea is all the same. It's just an extension of this person called Esau. Like Esau is the father of the Edomites. Idumea is another term for it. And Seir is a location where they live. So it's all connected. It all points back to this one individual that has passed down through the generations of his family, okay? Let's look at H8165 in the Strongs. Let's see. Open this bigger so we can see it. And this is Seir, okay? Let's play it to hear it.
Strong's H8165. Seir. Seir.
Okay. And you can see right here, when we go down, it says, and we have shown this in plenty of classes. Rebbe has shown us in plenty of classes here. It says hairy and shaggy. So it's explaining that the location that is called Seir was the individual people, or the people who inhabited that area, were hairy and shaggy. All right. It also mentions patriarchs of the Horites, the inhabitants of Edom before the descendants of Edom. This is very important because when I was doing the research, I was like, how do you have this set of people over here and this set of people over here? What happened is Edom went to that location and took over that location. And then it was named after Edom, which is Seir. Okay. So the Horites were another set of people that were living in that location that Esau took over. We're going to see that as we go down, okay? And this is just some more information that you can go yourself and see, understand more about that. Now let's look at the other one, H123. H123. Let's see what that one says. H123.
Strong's H123. Edom. Edom.
Okay. And it says Edom, Edomites, Idumea. What it says right here, red. So it gives a distinction. It matches the color. Edom means red. That's what the word Edom means. Esau means red and hairy. So it connects. Hairy and shaggy is Seir. Edom is red, and Esau is red and hairy. Esau connects Edom and Idumea and Seir, okay? Connects all of them. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there so we understand that we're dealing with the same person that has a bunch of different credentials You may think that you're dealing with a different person when it's the same person under a different disguise. And you can see the wood wooser right here, Mishpachah, red and hairy. Look at the goat right here, which represents that they always talk about. We're going to talk about the goat too, okay? So the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. Now let's do some rational thinking. Why would the records, why would the Bible indicate Esau's red color, but not Jacob's color? And when you do the research, and a lot of people get this, get the same answer, I guess. But when you come to the conclusion, when you look at all the evidence, the inhabitants around the area were basically the same complexions. Okay, a variation of shades, but they all look alike normally. Okay, but what was different was he was a little bit more redder in hue, and on top of that, he was hairy. It's not like you would just normally have hair on the top on your beard, or everybody has little bits of hair on their skin, you know, and that's for a reason. For you can feel the temperature change, helps you with feeling different things, your senses. Okay, this is why you have little bits of hair on your skin. Adds protection and different things for your skin. But he was extra. He had more than the normal average person had around him. So it stood out. It was an indicator that says, whoa, this person looked different from everybody else. Something has to be up. And the Most High was putting this into place as a specific indicator, a sign. When you see this distinction, you know it's from this lineage of family. Comes from no other family but his family. So this is very important for us to understand why red and hairy was mentioned, why it is highlighted throughout when we go through the scriptures to find out the distinction between the two nations and their existence. Let me see what the chat is saying. The chat's saying a bunch of beautiful things here. Let's see. Means goat. Yep, seer means goat. That's absolutely right. That's right, Sister Joyce. You don't have to mention the normal, only the abnormal. And that's the point of this. We don't have to mention things that are normal. We only mention things that are different. Like, wait a minute, I've never seen this before. All right, let's look at Joshua 26 and verse 15. Go ahead, Brother Mike.
And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Therefore they called his name Jacob.
Jake said, wait a minute. Just imagine that. So Jacob's hand held Esau's heel. This is another class, but Mishpachah, look into it. When let me pull this up real quick. Let me pull this to the side. This is just to stimulate thought, so y'all can kind of see something here. It also connects. Let's go to chapter 3. It also connects to this right here. Verse 15, with our Messiah. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his what? Heel. It ties in, Mishpachah. The prophecy ties in perfectly. That's something for y'all to look up later, okay? But this right here ties in with that. So Jacob is trying to grab Esau's heel, and it's part of the prophecy. Genesis 25 and 26 now. Go ahead and read that one.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
His name was called Jacob. So Mishpachah, again, these are more clues that gives us better context. And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold his heel. Therefore they call his name Jacob. So Jacob was named after holding the heel of Esau. Okay? Names are important. Clues are important to let you know what is going on with the whole picture here. All right, let's look at the blessings to come. Now, these blessings are, on the flip side, opposite to Esau. We're going to look at something that highlights who Esau was, because when you're looking at one thing, opposite gives you more information. If I say, if you do this, you'll be blessed, I shouldn't have to tell you if you don't do it, you'll be cursed. It already implies the opposite of it. So we're going to look at the blessings to come. Let's go into the book of Jubilees 19 and verse 15. Let's start there.
And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau.
Everything that's written is important, and there's a reason why it's written. Abraham was the one that the Most High contacted first. He says, Abraham, I want you to leave those idols. I want you to come out, and I want you to serve me. I have chosen you way before you were born. Because when you read the history records of Abraham, he was foretold to be born. Nimrod and his Abraham's father, and all the wise men and stuff had dreams, and they saw all the things that were supposed to happen, and they became afraid, and then they tried to kill off Abraham. Go read the story. But Abraham, Most High called him, and the Most High showed him the entire future. Abraham sat back with the popcorn, and some of what he saw was very horrific. He was scared. You know when you watch a horror movie? Because it says he saw some horrible things. That was the future of his own seed. And he was experiencing all of that. And he understood right there and then that through Jacob, everything is going to be blessed. And we'll see that. So he loved Jacob. Let's read verse 16.
And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau.
That's very important. He saw the deeds of, remember, the children are growing up in front of him. And as a parent, grandparent, or parent, you can see the characteristics form as the babies are growing up. They have things that they do. And you as a parent will do the corrective things to bring them up the right way. But all in all, the Most High from the beginning has already instilled what is supposed to happen. So he's sitting back and he's watching the deeds, the actions, everything that Esau is doing. Go ahead.
And he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called.
Uh-huh.
And he called Rebekah and gave commandment regarding Jacob.
Very important, Mishpachah. This is very important. He called his daughter, Rebekah. He says, come here. I want you to know that something very important. Keep your eyes tight on Jacob. Okay? You have to do something very special for him. Now, finish read that first, Brother Mike.
For he knew that she too loved Jacob much more than Esau.
So Rebekah was instructed by Abraham? That's the question. Was Rebekah instructed by Abraham, Mishpachah? What do y'all think? Was Rebekah instructed by Abraham?
Yes, sir.
She was instructed by Abraham. Abraham told exactly what to do. Now do we see why Rebekah did what she did by making sure Jacob got the blessing? See, we're going to go through this to get the understanding of how people in Christianity talk about, Jacob was sly, deceiving, and Jacob was lying, all this stuff. Nothing to do with that. They never understand the power of the Most High behind the scenes. All they see is what's happening. Same thing with Samson. Oh, Samson is lustful. He was running after all these women. The Most High put it in his heart to do that. We never see what's going on. We're just looking at right there, blinders on our eyes, looking through the Gentiles' lenses. So Rebekah was given a commandment regarding Jacob on how to raise this boy up and what to do when the time comes. We're going to get the evidence. Let me pull this aside. Let's pull up the book of Jubilees. I didn't put this one because there's a lot of information, and we have to get the proper understanding. Jubilees 26, and we're going to read from verses 5 to verse 14. Go ahead and read that there.
And Rebekah called Jacob her son and said unto him, Behold, I heard Isaac your father speak unto Esau your brother, saying, Hunt for me and make me savory meat and bring it to me, to me that I may eat and bless you before Yahuwah, before I die. And now, my son, obey my voice in that which I command you. Go to your flock and fetch me 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for your fathers, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father that he may eat and bless you before Yahuwah, before he die, and that you mayest be blessed. And
Hold on one
Jacob
second.
said, okay.
Scroll up a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Mother, I shall not withhold anything which my father would eat and which would please him. Only I fear my mother that he will recognize my voice and wise to touch me.
Wish to touch me. Okay, that's good enough. We all know the story. And in Genesis 27, 1 to 5, 8, 11, and 16 is just the Genesis recount of it versus Jubilee's account. And we all know the story of what was instructed, how she overheard that he was about to bless. And she remembered what Abraham told her. Abraham says, I know all the wickedness Esau is doing, but Jacob has to get this blessing. Esau cannot get this blessing. So do what you have to do to make sure he gets the blessing. This is what was instructed, just paraphrasing some words, to her. When we read the records, this is what is given, okay? So all of that stuff that we think in Christianity about, oh, he was being deceptive and all this stuff, we don't understand. Let's read, we can get into some more. Let's read verse 17 and 18, and let's get some more understanding to build our case up. Go ahead.
And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Jacob.
My son Jacob. He says, my grandson, because he knows who the blessing's supposed to go through. Go ahead.
For he shall be in my seed on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem.
Now stop there. For the whole seed of Shem. This is where the Jubals are trying their best to take the blessings at all costs. This is why they come up with this scheme about, oh, they're the Jewish people and how they're Semitic, not Shemitic, Semitic, something totally different. Okay? We're going to touch on some of that later down in the class to expose those lies once again. But the glory of the whole seed of Shem. So we understand what glory means, and we understand who the whole seed of Shem is referring to. All right? Verse 18.
For I know that Yahuwah will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth.
I know that Yahuwah will choose him. Why is he so confident in saying that? Because remember, when we go back to Genesis 16, 17, and 18, and so forth, we get the breakdown of how the Most High told Abraham what exactly would happen. He saw into the future all the way to the end what will happen. So he already knew what's going to happen. So he told Rebekah, he says, look, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know who he's going to choose. So make sure you pick him to be a people for a possession unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. They don't want you to understand that, Mishpachah. They're trying to suppress this for many, many generations. This is why the church tells you the book of Jubilees is not good to read, and the book of Jasher is not good to read, because you'll get more information on the truth. But we're reading all the history and the records that has been put there, thus saith the Most High. Let's pull this to the side, and let's look at Jubilees 1. And we are going to see, go back here a minute. Jubilees chapter 1, verses 14 to 17. We're going to see why Abraham knew that Israel was going to be chosen above all people. All right, this is Moses' account. This is what the angel showed to Moses. Go ahead, verses 14, Jubilees 1.
And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength.
Okay,
And I
pause a
will
minute.
gather.
Now, this is a prophecy that the Most High is revealing to Moses when Moses was up in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. This is what was given to him. He is seeing the same vision. He's watching the same movie Abraham watched. Okay? And he's seeing exactly what's going to happen. So it's just doubling down or confirming that what will happen, what was told is what's going to happen. So right now, he's telling Moses that your people, Israel, which is my people that I have selected, will turn back to me from amongst the Gentiles, from all of the wickedness. Continue.
And I will gather them from among all the Gentiles, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them, when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul.
And that's what we're doing today, Mishpachah. We're seeking the Most High with all our soul and all our heart. This is the current day part of this prophecy. Go ahead.
And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I will remove them the plant of uprightness.
Hallelujah.
With all my heart and with all my soul, and they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail.
Now remember when we read in the birth that one shall be stronger than the other, one shall be above the other. This is the reverse of that. This is what we're going to back to. Because remember, we were on top, we disobeyed, we fell. Now it's going to be reversed. This is where we are today, Mishpachah. Okay? Let's read verse 16 and 17.
And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will dwell with them, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Yahuwah, their Elohim.
Now, if the Creator is telling you in the future he will not fail us, nor will he forsake us, why are we worrying? Well, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, why are we worrying, Mishpachah? Why are you worrying? That is the question we're supposed to be asking ourselves. Because in this class today, we're understanding who Edom is. They want us to worry. They want us to be in the state that they're supposed to be in. And we're not supposed to be in that state of mind, that spirit. We're supposed to be in a different spirit, in truth and righteousness. This is why when they talk about we're the people, it's not in truth and it's not in righteousness. It's in lies and deceit. But the Most High says, I will be their Elohim and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. Okay? So this is a part of the prophecy that they don't want you to know. Let's look at Exodus. This is all found in our scrolls, Exodus 19, and we're going to look at verses 5 to get the same understanding. Later down when Moses was there, go ahead and read that for me.
Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Is that hard to understand? Is that even hard to understand, Mishpachah? It is written. All we have to do is obey so it can be done. All we have to do, Mishpachah, is obey so that it can be done. Let's look at Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6.
For you are the holy people unto Yahuwah, your Elohim. Yahuwah, your Elohim, hath chosen you to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
These are all the witnesses. When you go to one book, it tells you he said the same thing. You go to the next, said the same thing. The story hasn't changed. The witnesses hasn't changed. We are the people that will be above all peoples. So this is why Rebecca had to do what Rebecca did. Has nothing to do with being deceptive or all these other things. Let's read verse 20 and verse 21 of Jubilees 19.
Add still further to your kindness to him, and let thine eyes be upon him in love. For he shall be a blessing unto us on the earth from henceforth unto all generations of the earth.
Now, when you read Genesis 22 and 18, let me pull it up so you can see for yourself. It's the same language again, Mishpachah, about us being a blessing to these other nations out there. Genesis 22 and 18. Go ahead and read that for me.
And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you hast obeyed my voice.
Now let's look at verses 26. Remember, these are all witnesses. We're just looking to see what is written, okay? Or she's not making anything up. Verse 4, 26 and verse 4.
And I will make your seed to multiply as the stars of the heaven, and will give unto your seed all these countries, and in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
So Mishpachah, we can see right here when we read Jubilees 19 and verse 20, it says, for he, Jacob, shall be a blessing unto all of us on the earth, from henceforth unto all generations of the earth. So Abraham is telling Rebekah, your son, your twin son, Jacob, the one who was smooth, and we're going to see what that pertains to, will be a blessing. From the time he comes out, he's going to be a blessing to all generations on the earth. But the other guy over there, we're going to see about him. Verse 21.
Let your hands be strong, and let your heart rejoice in your son Jacob. For I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He shall be blessed forever, and his seed shall fill the whole earth.
Hallelujah. This is like poetry. Whenever I read this, I just feel so good. It's like a recharge in your spirit, in your soul, to know that you have been called, selected, and chosen above everyone else. But again, the enemy paints that picture, and the enemy whispers in your ears and lies to you about you are nothing. And one of the greatest things they will always come up with when you corner them, it doesn't matter. That's what they'll tell you. It doesn't matter. It matters, Mishpachah. If it didn't matter, it wouldn't be written. Plain as that. If it didn't matter, the Most High wouldn't have put it into words. So it matters. You matter that you are Israel, okay? Jubilees 19 and verse 22.
If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also shall be numbered.
This is another sign that separates us from all the other nations. This is why some of our people got in trouble. Y'all know who got in trouble for trying to number Israel. Let's look at Hosea 1 and verse 10 to get some more understanding. We're going to look at some witnesses. Every time we read something, we want to make sure it adds up. So we're going to look at Hosea chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 10 to see if this actually lines up. Go ahead, read this one for me.
Yet the number of children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
So can we, so Brother Mike, sorry, can we be numbered, Brother Mike?
No, sir.
Can they measure us with like a measuring cup or some type of a device?
Not at all.
So when they put these statistics out and say that you are the few, what does that tell you, Brother Mike?
That they're trying to number us. They can't be numbered.
Full of, in the words of the great Rebbe, they're full of the bull spit, right?
Right.
All right, go ahead. Finish read that.
Where did I stop at? My apologies.
You could start over again.
Okay. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living Elohim.
That's like, when I read stuff like this, it's like a symphony. Music is going. You can hear all the instruments playing. Beautiful sound. Just think of that, Mishpachah. You are special. They know that, and they hate that. Okay. Romans 9 and verses 27. Romans 9 and 27. Let's see what it says here. Does these all say the same thing?
Esaias also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
This is a future prophecy that's saying out of the numbers that can't be numbered, the Most High is going to pull the obedient ones out of all of that number. Okay, so there's also going to be a special gathering out of the special, just because of disobedience. Let's check out Sirach. Let me pull this over here. Let's look at what Sirach says, Ecclesiasticus, to see if it adds up the same thing. 37 and verse 25. Let's look at verse 25. All right, go ahead and read that.
The days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable.
That's beautiful. So when they tell you, Mishpachah, that you are the minority, just shake your head and says, thank you for all the lies that you've been telling me. I am the majority. You can never number me. Because the Most High has already put it into play. They cannot number the stars. They could never number you. All right. This is the blessings I was talking about. So let's continue. Verse 23, 24, and 25.
And all the blessings wherewith Yahuwah hath blessed me and my seed shall belong to Jacob and his seed always.
That's beautiful right there. That is beautiful. Abraham is saying everything that belongs to me belongs to Jacob. Is that hard to understand? This is why the Ishi Jubus, the Woodwoosers, this is why they and the rest of the nations hate us with a detestable hate. This is why in Psalms, when David say they're going to try to be confederate and try to make the name of Israel non-existent, they can try every way. And currently, through the not Shemitic, but the Semitic semantics that they push out, right, which is anti-Semitic stuff. Oh, we don't want you to talk about who we are because we're lying. We'll never take a DNA test. We'll never do this. We'll never, all these different things that they push behind the scenes. The truth is there, Mishpachah. But Abraham says, my blessing belongs to Jacob and his seed. We are his seed always. Verse 24.
And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers, Shem and Noah and Enoch and Mahalalel and Enos and Seth and Adam.
Imagine that. He pulled the receipts out. He says, look, we're going back before the flood. Okay? Abraham said, we're going back before the flood. From Adam to Seth, to Enos, to Mahalalel, Enoch, Noah, to Shem, all the way to me. There's a connection. A righteous connection. Torah-loving people connection. That connects the Creator to us. No one else. Everyone else are just role players. Every other nation are just role players. But we are the star of the show. We are the damsel in distress. And our Messiah, which is the hero, our Hamashiach, is the one doing the rescuing. Okay? Verse 25.
And he shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the firmament.
This is very important. We are connected to the luminaries, Mishpachah. Remember, we always show this to you. This is why, this is another piece of evidence that the Most High has put there for Israel, that as long as these luminaries are in existence, guess what? There's no removal of us. That's why they'll keep spinning the lie, oh, Israel doesn't exist anymore. There's only Jewish people. But Israel has disappeared and gone somewhere else in the universe, like in some other dimension. Oh, and also Esau has disappeared too. That's the lies that spin. This is why it says, and these shall serve to lay the foundation of heaven. So the foundations, and this goes more into just how everything is connected and created and how it plays into the Most High's beautiful plan. It connects us to these luminaries. Read verse 35, Jeremiah 31, 35, and 36.
Thus saith Yahuwah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahuwah of hosts is his name.
Uh-huh.
And those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahuwah. Then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
He ends it with the word forever. See, the Most High puts his signature on everything. That forever tells you that he is the one in charge, that it has no change to it. He says, if those ordinances depart from me, if the sun, the moon, and the stars stop doing what they're doing, then the seed of Israel will be no more. But we are connected to these luminaries, and every time these luminaries rise and set, the sun rise and set, or rotation, and the moon does what she does, it renews. All of these things just keep renewing. Every day that covenant that has been set is showing and it's playing itself out. And the other nations hate that. This is why they're trying their best to corrupt, destroy the elements, distort it with their warlock, weathery stuff that they've been doing, messing with the sun, trying to create a new sun, and all these different things they're trying to do just to hide the truth, Mishpachah. Let's look at another witness, Revelations 21 and verses 2. Revelation 21 and 2.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Now this is put here because these shall serve to lay the foundation of the heaven. He's creating everything up there, Mishpachah, putting everything together to strengthen the earth and to renew the luminaries which are in the firmament. So everything starts up there, works its way down to us. We are connected in every way, form, and fashion, okay? They cannot take that away from us. They'll try, but the Most High word has already gone out and cannot be voided. So we saw the blessings that we will receive because of the wickedness that Esau is doing. Now we're going to look at the character. We're going to look at his hairy red characteristics that has been portrayed throughout the generations of all mankind's civilization, okay? Because some people will tell you in history, oh, this is just that, and this is this. But when you connect all together, it gives you the truth, okay? Jubilees 19 and verse 13.
And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field and hairy, and Jacob dwelt in tents.
Now, when it talks about his smoothness, the physical component of this is saying that he was regular. That's basically what it's saying. He was a regular guy compared to the hairy guy that came out. But when we dig a little deeper, we see how he was connected to the Torah itself, okay? Let's look at the book of 1 Samuel 17, and we're going to look at verse 40, 17 and 40. And everything, like I said, is put here for a purpose and a reason, and it connects. All right, let's read that, 17 and 40.
And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones.
5 hairy stones, brother, 5 hairy stones.
5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip, and his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
So David was, when he talks about the script, that's his Psalms that he was writing, all them beautiful poetry and lyrics that we read, and the prophecies that he put in there, and other records that he was, taking account of. But the highlight of this Mishpachah is he chose him 5 smooth stones. And those 5 smooth stones are what? We all know this already. What was those 5 smooth stones?
Torah.
See what the chat's saying. The Torah, the five books of Torah, right? That's why it connects. So when you go back to Jacob's character, we're going to see how he was a person that was in the Torah. We're going to see that word for word, okay? But let's go back to Esau's character. And Esau was fierce, a man of the field. We know that Yeshua says the world is the field. Go look it up. The world is the field. So Esau is a man of the world, the system. That's his connection. He is the one that over controls all of the world governments and systems through the Prince of Darkness. Done a lot of classes on that. For those of you who know. For those of you who don't know, you take some time, go look at the classes. You'll see how all that makes the connections. And it highlights Anheri. And Jacob dwelt in tents. So Esau was out in the world while Jacob was in the Torah, in the tent. All right, the word fierce right here, this is from etymology. And I'm going to highlight the word proud. This is a very important, distinct word. Because when you deal with the word pride and proud throughout the Bible, when y'all get a chance, go look up pride or proud. The devil is always connected to it. Whether it's the serpent, whether it's an evil spirit, whether it's the dragon, okay? And that spirit is attached to that sodomite spirit also. So proud, violent. See right here it says violent, fierce, and wild. Wild is very important. Waste. Desert. I was like, wow, look at all of that. Untamed, uncultivated. That's why when the prophecies talk about his place being a waste and a desert, this is why everywhere these people go, they create deserts and wastelands. They kill out civilizations. They come in with diseases. They come in with war. They come with everything destructive. They can't help themselves, Mishpachah. That's the spirit that has been laid upon them to do and to perform that job. Okay? They're savages, yet they call our people savages, but they're savages. They're cruel. They'll tell you you're cruel. But when you look at it, they're cruel. And they're wild beasts. Wild beasts, Mishpachah. All right, let's continue here. Read that for me, brother. 19 and verse 14.
Oops, sorry, I flipped the screen. And the youth grew, and Jacob learned to write, but Esau did not learn. For he was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learnt war, and all his deeds were fierce.
All his deeds were fierce. See you, brother. Flattering, smooth. Thank you, brother Mike, for sending me that. Yeah. All his deeds were fierce. So we read here, it says, and the youths grew up. So these were 2 brothers. If you have a sibling brother that you grew up with close by, one is always going to be a little more extreme than the other. One is going to be more outgoing than the other. But in this case, these 2 particular individuals were warring from the womb. Jacob learned to write. This is very important, Mishpachah. This is evidence. When they say that we're uncivilized and we don't know how to do stuff and build stuff and all these things, it comes from us. We're the ones who started all of it. The Most High blessed us with this information, and they took it from us, okay? So Jacob learned to write, do all these beautiful things, but Esau did not learn to write. Esau was a master at hunting and killing. He was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learned war. He was very strategic. This is why these people can conquer civilizations. This is why they can go out and they can take over lands. They have special units designed to go out, destroy a government, and set up a government overnight. They do this all the time in warfare. And then they paint the picture of democracy over it. All his deeds were fierce. All right. Let me pull up this little article real quick. We're not going to read it. I'll post it in the chat so y'all can look at it yourself. Let me post it there. Let's see, is this the one I wanted? All right, I have it here. Let me pull it up over here now. So that's it there, but let me pull it up over here. It's called the Forever War, right? Can y'all see that? This is from The Guardian. And it says, Our Forever War, how the white male hegemony uses violence to cling to power. So the world understands that these folks here are connected to violence and power. Okay? And you read into it, it'll show you the taste of war. It says, we were never at war. By we, I mean the colonizer of this continent who waged war first against native North America original occupants. All right, they came in, they kidnapped Africans, subjugated into slavery. After the official Indians war ended, we found other means to keep native people confined and disempowered. So the list is long. They went into Mexico, all over the place, and they were just doing all of their wickedness right here. So when you get a chance, just check that out and you'll see for yourself how that whole thing is.
And their wars are always justifiable, right? Their violence is always justifiable, but your violence is always savagery, right? And their violence is always justifiable, right? But then when you turn around or someone else of a color turns around and commits war, it's savagery, right? It's terroristic. It's, I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And as you go down in the article, you'll see more of all the wickedness that they continue to do. Okay? So y'all can look at that when you get a chance. Camera back on. So right here you can see Mishpachah. All right, go ahead and read verses 17.
And the boys grew up to their 15th year, and they came amongst the society of men. Esau was a designing and deceitful man, and an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of Yahuwah and the commands of his father and mother.
And the boys grew up to their 15th year. So the record is these guys were 15 years old. Think back, brothers, when you were 15. And they came amongst the society of men. So now they're out in the presence of all the men out there doing manly things. Okay. Esau was a designing and deceitful man. Designing and deceitful. When you look that up, Mishpachah, he was a person always strategizing up here. How can I get that? How can I get this? How can I take that? How can I accomplish this? And an expert hunter in the field. We're going to see some of that. Okay. So we're building to understand the character of this individual and his offspring. We're seeing how their minds think, how they operate on a daily basis. But our people, Jacob, was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, meaning he stayed his butt home. He was home. When it says home, it's talking about in the area, working amongst what he's supposed to be doing in his father's affairs, taking care of the family, feeding flocks, and learning the instruction. He was feeding the flocks and learning the instructions. He wasn't out in men's affairs, politics, and all the other stuff. He wasn't doing that. This is what Esau was doing. How to be a designing and deceitful man. That's a political person up here. Always trying to chess move someone and to take over someone's country. Okay? And Yahuwah and the commands of his father and mother. So Jacob was learning all about Torah and being obedient to his mother and father. So you see the two different distinct personalities of these individuals, of the two nations. Okay? Now let's go to the next slide here. Genesis 25, verse 27 and then Joshua 28 and 20.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
So when we go back to here, this account just gives you more insight of what this is saying here. So if we just read Genesis 25, all you can know that Esau was cunning, and he was out in the world, and Jacob was in the tents. But it doesn't go into detail to say what Esau was and what Jacob was doing. You see how much more information we're getting, Mishpachah? All right, verses 20 of Joshua 28.
And Esau was a designing and deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same is Edom.
See, so it's telling you, again, Esau was a designing and deceitful man. So he was a person that was that was deep into deception, always trying to figure out how to take what someone has. One who hunted after the hearts of men. Think about that. Think about that. As it plays into exactly what we see today in Mishpachah. We have men hunters today. We're going to see some of that. But he was always trying to figure out how to overthrow, overtake, all the things that pertain to thievery and the arts of stealing, lying, cheating, and killing. Okay? And Esau was a valiant man in the field. A valiant man meaning what? Imagine it says you were valiant in this. This is why when it comes to the warmongers, it's always about valor. They're always talking about how to survive, how to kill hundreds and thousands, and how to do all this stuff, because it's always about valor when it comes to war. You don't see anybody talking about I'm a valor man in planting gardens. That language don't fit there. Okay? It says, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt, and he came as far as the field of Seir, the same as Edom. So this is how he overtook Edom. He went as far as the mount, because they were in one location growing up, and he's going out every time, hunting and networking and doing his thing. And now he went as far as the field of Seir, which is the same is called Edom. This is how he overtook that location, Edom. Took it, and now he is the father of that location. And we're going to see how he has become the father of other nations later too, okay? Hope everyone is doing well, and let me know if we are moving too fast. Brother O'Shea, slow down a little bit, or if I'm moving too slow, speed up a little bit. Brother Mike, how we doing?
Doing well. I was just thinking about that 20, that deceitful, right? And in the church, as you said earlier, they'll have you believe that Jacob was the deceitful one, right? And it plainly says right here that Esau was the deceitful one.
Absolutely. Esau's character shows you all of that. I mean, the fruits, Mishpachah, shows it for itself. Esau is the one that's always been deceitful. And sometimes we have to kind of maneuver through this deceitful world and play the game they play just to get through. This is why you see some of the stories are written the way they're written, where Moses was defending his own people, then they could turn around and call Moses a murderer. How is that? Right? You look at Samson, they call him an adulterer. The list is long. If you keep looking at every character, they call Daniel, he wasn't, when he was there with Nebuchadnezzar and all them doing his stuff, they call him a lawbreaker because he wasn't following what they told him to do. And they will turn around and says that we're the ones that are not doing things according to what they want to do. As long as you're following the Torah, Mishpachah, you're always correct. Okay, don't worry what they tell you about what we're not doing. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is Torah, then you're good. So we see here that the boys are two different nations with two different characteristics and two different outcomes altogether. One was in the Torah and one was in the world. Okay. Now let's look at this here now. Deuteronomy 28, verse 49, and Deuteronomy 28, verse 50.
Yahuwah shall bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand.
And Kiefer, that's right. The hunt is still on. And you can see right here, this is within the curse that the Most High has put upon us, that the nation of Edom shall be upon us for a time. It says, Yahuwah shall bring a nation against you, Israelites, from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand. This is why they speak all these different languages: German, Dutch, French, Spanish, and the list is long. English. And now people grow up in it, and we think that we are part of them now. Verse 50.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Is this prophecy correct, Mishpachah? Put a 1 if it's correct, or put a 2 if this is a lie.
Secretary of Congress Charles Thompson finalized the design, drawing on ancient Roman and European traditions that used eagles as standard symbols of supreme power, authority, and statehood.
See that? So they took this is the Secretary of Congress, which is, this was back in the day. This is why America uses the eagle as the symbol, okay? It's right here in front of you. It says he took a design, a drawing of ancient Rome, Europe, the European tradition. We're going to see how that all blends in with these people, that uses the eagle as standard symbol, as a standard symbol of supreme power, okay? Authority and statehood. So we understand that in the prophecy about our captivity, that a nation who is as swift as the eagle and as fierce as the eagle will come in and will take over our people. Let's look at Jeremiah 49 and 16. Let's get some more witnesses to kind of build a case, because like I said, I want y'all to see it from every angle. You're not going to just read it in one place. Moses has put his witnesses all over, so we have the evidence there. Jeremiah 49 and verse 16. Okay, let's start there. Go ahead. We're going to read the first part. Actually, we're going to read the last part from here. Actually, read the whole thing. We can come back to read the whole thing.
Okay. Your terribleness hath deceived you, and the pride of thine heart. Oh, you hast dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill.
Now, the height of the hills, brother, is talking about the governments. Esau has infiltrated in every government, and now they hold all the governments. They're the ones that are running the governments in the scenes and behind the scenes, okay? So they'll go to these countries. That's why, what's the brother from Africa? I think it's Boko Haram or whatever his name is. I can't remember his name. The one with the beret on, the general, his name is Traore. That's his name. That's his name. Okay. And there was a video that he put out. I don't remember his name, but he put out a video that he told the United States and all of Europe, stay out of our business. We don't want y'all in our business. And we know that's war about to happen there. Yes, Faso. That's his name, Faso, yes. He told them, stay out of our business. We don't want y'all in our business. And a lot of countries who say that, they end up like, what's his name in Venezuela that got kidnapped? I mean, there's nothing to laugh about, but it's just how these people think, man. They come in and they tear down governments and set up governments, and they do what they need to do to move the chess pieces around the board. So thy terribleness have deceived you, and the pride of thine heart. See the word pride there again? Remember we looked at the definition of Edom or Esau, and it says proud. pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. We're going to see some pictures of them, how they built up that place in Idumea, Edom, in the clefts of the rock, and the whole is the heights on the hill. So they're the ones in the governments. Continue.
Though you shouldest make your nest as high as the eagle, I will bring you down from thence, saith Yahuwah.
So the Most High in the future to come, he's going to tear down Esau's kingdom. We're going to see how that's going to happen later also. So he made his nest as high as the eagle. Why is this important? Because it's the character, Mishpachah. He could have been on an anthill, or he could have been on the top of a tree. He didn't say that. He says, make his nest high as the eagle. And when you look up eagle's nest, they go at the highest point as possible as they can go. Put their nest at the top so they can see everything. They can know where they can hunt. They can view their territory, and they can control what they can see. And this is the characteristics of what we're talking about here today. Now let's look at one more witness, the book of Obadiah, the prophet Obadiah. And we're going to see chapter 1, verse 4, and we're going to read what he says about the kingdom of Edom. Remember, this is about, read verses 1, the first part right here, the vision.
The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim concerning Edom.
That's all we need. That's all we need concerning Edom. So we know we're talking about Edom because remember, Esau is Edom. Let's read verse 4 now. We're going to come back to Obadiah later. Read verse 4.
Though you exalt yourself as the eagle, and though
So Esau, though you have exalted yourself as the eagle, go ahead.
And though you set your nest among the stars, thence will I bring you down, saith Yahuwah.
And this is why some individual person who is beautifully orange, and he's bringing in the golden age, the one that created the Space Force. If you know, they have been preparing us for decades with movies like Star Trek and Star Wars and all these Voyager and all these different things, Mars and this and that, going to the space because of the demonic possession that they possess. They keep trying to go up and regain the control because the Most High has kicked them out. But the Most High is going to do it again. Though you, Esau, have exalted yourself as the eagle and put your nest, meaning your governments, above among the stars within all of the demonic possessions, I will bring you down, saith Yahuwah. This is a prophecy that's going to come, Mishpachah. We're going to get into that some more. Now let's look at this. The characteristics are fierce, designing, deceitful, expert hunter of the field, and cunning invasion, right? Now let's see what this means. Read that for me, Brother Mike. Just read the highlighted parts.
Yes, eagles are fierce apex predators.
That's all we need. Next one.
Yes, eagles are expert hunters. Yes, eagles are cunning, intelligent, and strategic hunters.
So this is the character of an eagle. And Esau has patterned himself after this particular bird because of its characteristics. So Esau is fierce. He's an expert hunter, and he's very cunning, strategic, and he does things in such a way that when he's finished, no life exists beyond that. Let's look at some more. Look at the pictures right here. These are some individuals who put their nests among the stars, who are in charge of a lot of the moving pieces on the board that you see their faces, but behind them, there are more of these people with money that you don't see, that you don't hear about. These are the ones that move in silence and violence. These are the ones behind the scenes that are setting up and tearing down within the kingdom of Satan, okay? And there's a lot to it. But these are the ones that we see currently in our faces that are on mainstream, that are, we call the puppets, that are on the string, okay? These are the faces of different faces of Esau that we see. All right, this quote by Benito Mussolini. Benito
We do
Mussolini.
not,
Go ahead.
we do not argue with those who disagree with us. We destroy them.
That's the mind of Esau. We do not argue with those who disagree with us. We destroy them. Let's look at another quote over here by Benito Mussolini.
It is better to live one day as a lion than 100 years as a sheep.
Because Esau is not a sheep. We are the sheep. And he is always on the hunt. So whether he portrays himself as an eagle, as a lion, as a wolf, a dog, a hyena, whatever animal of predatory characteristics, we are sheep, Mishpachah. So he says he'd rather be one day as a predator than 100 years as a sheep. That's the mind of Esau. Psalms 11 and verse 5.
Yahuwah trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth.
This is another reason why Esau is hated by the Most High. This is why the Most High says, I hate Esau. This is why Abraham saw the future and saw that the deeds of Esau were only wicked, because he loves violence. He's a man of violence. He's a person, the demons that sit in there. So it's like you have a machine. This is why they call the military a war machine. And these demons sit inside the minds of Esau and operate them. Have y'all seen that movie? I forgot the name of it. The one with the big robots that fight some alien species or whatever that comes out of the earth. And the black dude that's in there, can't remember the name of it. But anyhow, they're in these big machines and they're fighting these alien creatures like Godzilla type things. Pacific Rim, thank you, Pacific Rim. And you see how they had the two little operators in the machine? That's how these spirits are. They sit in the minds of Esau and they're operating them. Their hands are moving. Oh, I gotta kill. Oh, I gotta violence. I gotta take. I gotta steal. I gotta rob. That's what we are seeing, Mishpachah, on a playing field when it comes to humanity across the board. Brother Shea has the proof. He's going to show you. Okay. All right. Look at this picture right here. Men of war jumping out over territories, fierce, always trying to indulge in someone else's business. Look at them. That is your friendly neighbor that you have there with you. That is the people that you call your friendly neighborhood neighbors. Look at them. Look at this picture right here. Esau is always hunting. Look at that, Mishpachah. What saith y'all? What do y'all say about these pictures right here? Do y'all see this? This is sadness. They go out there, they're killing the bears, the boars, gators, the lions, the sharks. Right? Nowhere is safe. They're always out there hunting, looking for the next fix of blood. And they call this sport. And they hang the heads of all of these on the wall. And they wear the teeth and the bones. This is why all people are not supposed to be doing none of this stuff. You grew up wearing a rabbit foot and shark tooth and all this crap that you wear in your body, not realizing that you are under the influence of the spirit of Esau and the demonic possession that these people have of bloodthirst and killing. Look at it. This is what they do. They go out there and they hunt. They are man hunters. See right here, it says man hunters. The top right, hanging the Hebrews in slavery. See, y'all remember that? A lot of y'all have seen these pictures. They're still doing it. A lot of Hebrews still in 2026 mysteriously end up hung. And then they'll say, oh, the person commits suicides. Still lying to you. Look at all of the different flavors alphabet flavors of the different governments that set up. And this is just the United States version. Europe has its version of Interpol and all those other ones. Canada have its version. Within the African government, Esau has his versions in them too. Over in all of the governments that you see, nation of Esau, they have all of these different things. And a lot of the other nations follow the same thing. China, Japan, all the way down to South America, they all follow the same thing. ATF, NSA, CIA, FBI, DEA, ICE, all of these governments that are out there, man-hunting. It's in their blood. They can't stop hunting. Here is the true history of the wood woosers. Y'all remember that commercial? The one with the caveman? If a caveman can do it, you can do it. You remember that commercial? He's always walking around trying to do stuff.
Geico commercial.
Yeah, the Geico commercial. Yep. Here is the history of the wood woosers, also known as the original caveman, the Edomite. Where do you think they get that picture of a hairy person from? Remember, it's not mentioned nowhere in history, but in the book of Genesis at the birth of Esau. It's mentioned nowhere but there. So where do you think they get that from? And then they try to spin on you a different story and talk about evolution and the caveman and all this other stuff. When they're the ones that evolve, they evolve from this to lie to you and tell you that they are the ones that the Most High chose. That's the evolution, the lie that they spin to you and to I. That's what they've been doing for generations. All right, brother Mike, I'm going to step away for 1 second. Just read this for me a minute. I'll be right back, Mishpachah.
Wild man. In Middle English, a corresponding term for the wild man is woodwoos or woodwoos. These beings could be manhunters or otherwise be sinister. Brutish behavior. A modern person who acts very rude, aggressive, or violent. A woodwoos is a mythical wild man of the woods from medieval European folklore, characterized by heavy body hair, a bipedal humanoid shape, and a fierce, untamed nature.
All right, so the wild man, as we can see right here, it says Esau is the wild man. This is what I'm putting in here now. For the wild man is woodwoos or woodwoos, how to spell it, right? These beings could be manhunters or otherwise be sinister. So the character of a wild person is a person that is a manhunter and sinister. Now let me go back a minute. Let's see. All right, so we're right here. Remember it says wild man, right? All right, this one says red, right? Now we went back over to the definition, etymology. This is what I want to pull up here. Let me pull up the etymology. Definition. We're going to find it. Don't worry, we'll find it right here. Fierce. This is what I'm looking for. Fierce. All right, we can close this out. Let's go back here to fierce. All right. In the word fierce, because this is his characteristic, right? Remember, we're seeing that Esau was fierce, a man of the field and hairy, right? What does it say right here? It says violent, fierce, wild. See the word wild right there? Wild, uncultivated, savage, cruel, wild beasts. So remember that. Let me have it side by side. Let me pull it up here so we can see it side by side. We're gonna see it side by side, okay? Here, so pull it up. Now let's go back forward so we can get back to where we were. I think I'm going backwards, I'm sorry. Let's go back forward all the way to where we were, and we're gonna see how this ties in with Esau being the wood wooser right here. All right, so it says, for the wild man is woodwoos or woodwoos. This being could be manhunters or otherwise be sinister. And we see right here, we see wild, we see proud, You see wild, untamed, savage, wild beasts. Do y'all see the connections there? All right, brutish behavior. A modern person who acts very rude, aggressive, or violent. This is what this ties back into. Mythical man of the woods. European folklore. Their part of Esau's heritage is Europe. We're going to see that also. But what's interesting, it's characterized by heavy body hair and fierce, untamed nature. We see what the word fierce says here. Wild beasts, hairy body, savage, fierce, untamed. We see untamed right here also, right here, untamed over here. See right here? So all the connections are there in Mishpachah. Nothing I'm saying is being made up. We are seeing it right in our face, exactly what they have. Now let me play this little video here, since I have this here. We're going to get an example of how Esau can't help himself. And there's now when I show you one video, Mishpachah, there's hundreds out there. I'm just pulling little bits and pieces just to kind of give us some thoughts so we can make the connection easier. And now to make this into a sport. Okay? Look at it. There goes your friendly neighborhood. There you go. Oh, there goes Esau. Esau is trying to go back into how they used to operate. Remember, a spirit is on these people. So sometimes they will revert back to these behaviors because they can't help themselves, okay? Even though they are our flesh and blood, they're not of the same seed in the sense of what the Most High has deemed the same. Remember, Most High put two separate nations from the womb. Let me play it again while I talk. Two separate nations from the womb inside of Rebecca. And from the beginning, the twins were fighting and battling themselves. They were out there fighting each other in the womb. And all the way down to where we are today, the battle continues. But currently, Esau is on top. He's doing what he's doing. And if we start to do what we're supposed to do, which is to keep the commandments and obey the Most High, everything will be reversed back to what it's supposed to be. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that picture right there. What y'all think about that? Yeah, I'll pull up that video after, Brother Mike, when I get to that point, okay? All right, let's continue. Mishpachah, the marathon of madness continues when it comes to the nation of Edom. All right, let's look at Job chapter 30, verses 1 to verses 4.
But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs on my flock.
See, so Job is just breaking it down and telling you that these people, their fathers, I would have disdained to have set with the dogs, because remember, the behaviors of these people is unique. We're going to see a lot of that shortly, okay? Go ahead, verse 3.
For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste.
See that word waste there again, Mishpachah? It ties in with the word fierce. All of these things are connected. You just got to connect the dots. So the Most High has sent them out. This is why the character of Esau, he was always out in the field. Always want to go out there and do some type of a hunting, gathering type mentality. All right, verses 4.
Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
See right here? So they were out there eating bush and berries. And there's nothing wrong with eating these things here. It's just to show you what type of environment and their upbringing was. When we were more civilized, they were not civilized. Then they'll come in rob, rape the place, and then tell you, you're not civilized, we are civilized. You see how they flip the script? And then they rewrite history and tell you that the people, indigenous people, were uncivilized and savage. And they came in and brought Jesus. And they brought all of the, what you would say, technologies and advancements that civilization needs to thrive. And then they paint it with a beautiful picture of democracy in the background. They give you all types of medicines and stuff. And while in the background, they're killing you, raping you, they're giving you all the sicknesses and diseases. And everything that they do has been trial and error. Meaning they don't know what to do. They try everything, and then when they turn around, the same thing that you were doing from before, they're like, oh, okay, well, let's give them what they were doing before to keep them sustain them. So these are what we're dealing with, Mishpachah, okay? All right, let's look at that picture right there. This is the cleft of the rocks that they were dwelling in. Remember Jeremiah talked about the cleft of the rocks? Look it up. You will see, if you type in Seir, Mount Seir, and the kingdom of Edom, you'll see all in those caves and rocks they built these structures. Remember Rebbe shared with y'all about the designs is the same thing we see in the pantheons, we see in the Senate buildings, we see in the government halls and houses. Same construction, same spirit. Nothing has changed. Job 30, verse 5, 6, and 7, brother.
They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together.
See that, Mishpachah? They were driven forth from among men. So the spirit that was upon Esau sent him into this area here. And they cried after them as after a thief. So they were out there always robbing and stealing. Verse 6 says, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and in caves of the earth and in the rocks. Now, the key here that I want y'all to understand is the word dwell. It's not to say that if you are a person who is camping out or you are in survival mode, you find yourself in a cave or something, you're trying to have some shelter for a time being, that's different from someone who is setting up shop and living there 24/7 and residing there and saying, this is my home. This is where these people operated. And this is what you will call the first bunkers. Okay. But they were like, always want to be on top. So they go in the mountains and they set up these forts and they set up these taverns and different things up there. And they dwell up there. Then they'll come down to where everyone else is and start talking about they're the ones that are civilized and you're not civilized. Verse 7 gives us more intel on the characteristics of these people's behaviors. Among the bushes they brayed. Y'all know what brain means? Anybody in the chat know what brain means? Chat, hello? Anybody know what the word bray means?
Is it like they wore as clothing or something?
No.
Like
Making the sound of like a donkey. But it also goes deeper of what it's trying to tell you is that these people didn't have a specific way of speaking. It was all gibberish. It's like when we're speaking all of their languages right now, but the Hebrew language was a language of purity. When you say something, it comes with energy. It comes with the full force, the meaning behind of it. It's life. You're speaking life. You're actually creating stuff. When these people speak and how they talk, it's all about destruction. So they were like how the caveman would talk. All these different. They didn't really have a set way of speaking. It was confusion when these people were speaking. Okay, that's how they were conversating between each other among the bushes. The bushes under the nettles is talking about the activities that they were doing. They do a lot of ritualistic things. When you dig into the history, in these coves and covens that they have, okay, and then to set up these formations to do a lot of their seances. They were gathered together to do all these different things. Our people did not operate this way. Remember, Jacob was intense. He was learning instruction. He used to read and write. And he had a script and all these different things. Esau was out there clubbing people over the head, and stabbing and shooting and overtaking, tearing people up. That was the characteristics of the difference between the two nations. Okay. Verse 8, brother Mike.
They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
Imagine that. He's saying they were viler than the earth. What is more viler than the earth? Like, I mean, besides we're reading it now, but how vile can the earth be? Is this talking about the environment of how hard it is to thrive and live? That's the mentality of how the energy comes off of the Edomite people. They were children of fools, children of base men. When you read the definition over there of base, it's talking about thick, stumpy, low on the social scale. They weren't smart, intelligent people when it comes to reasoning and how to be among society. But they were very strategic and very smart when it comes to war, though. There's a difference. But what sticked out here is stumpy, thick and stumpy. It also talks about in the future about how the Most High is going to make them a stubble, right? Make them low. So it also points to their future as in their nation. Let's look at Deuteronomy 28:37. Go ahead and read Job 30 and verse 9 while I pull this up, brother.
And now am I their song? Yea, I am their byword.
We have become their byword. So that tells you, this is another clue of who Job was talking about. Okay? Everything is there showing you who the characters are. So when somebody tell you, oh, Job wasn't talking about Esau, let's look at the witness, Deuteronomy 28, verse 37.
And you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether Yahuwah shall lead you.
So Job was prophesying and saying, we have become a byword. We are their song. This is why we entertain them. This is why we are the top entertainers in the world, whether it's sports, whether it's music, theater, drama, whatever. We have become their song and their byword. Okay? That is just what happens when we disobey the Most High. But don't worry. It's all going to come back around. All right, let's look at verses Jeremiah 49 and 16. This is what we read earlier. Let's read it again.
Your terribleness hath deceived you, and the pride of thine heart. O you that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though you shouldest make your nest as high as the eagle, I will bring you down from thence, saith Yahuwah.
So the Most High is going to destroy the nations, all controlled by Esau. Remember, when you look at the bigger picture, when we did the class with the pyramid showing the governments all the way coming down, we understand that Hashatan, the devil, is in charge. This is his kingdom. Prince of darkness, he runs this world. This is why he told our Messiah, all of this I will give you if you bow down and worship me. Because the Messiah allowed him to have this kingdom on earth for a time. So under the rule of Satan, he has selected this family because it was given to him. The Most High says, this is the family I give you. I'm going to have Jacob, you're going to have Esau. We can play a game of chess. In the end, we win. That's all. That's how the story is written. All right. So the devil's chess pieces, when you look on the chessboard, is Esau. And Esau controls all the other nations that fall under him. This is why it's called a confederacy. When you look into all of the other nations that he controls, they're vassals to his nation. We're going to see that. Let's continue. Distinct smell and hairy description. Very important. All the clues that are given there tells us who we're dealing with. Esau has a distinct smell. They're hairy within the description that's given. Let's look at Genesis 27, 21, 22, and 23.
And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray you, that I may feel you, my son, whether you be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau's hands as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him.
See, Mishpachah? And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray you, that I may feel you. So something physical had to come out of this too. Because Esau was, when you read the whole thing, his eyes were dim. Meaning, not only was he older, but he wasn't given the vision of the future, what to happen. Abraham was given that, and then Abraham told Rebekah what to do. This is what Rebekah was doing. She was obeying the voice of Abraham, who told her, the Most High has already selected Jacob. This is what I need you to do. So come near. I want you to prepare him. So Isaac, being his eyes dim, not understanding the outcome of the whole thing from this perspective, he's calling Jacob to see if, to confirm, using his five senses, if he is the one. Because trust me, Isaac knew they were twins. He knew they had some ways that they can interact and know, like brothers. When you look at brothers, they have certain features that, yes, they do certain things alike. They may say certain things, they may do certain gestures, whatever it is, and it comes across as being the same. But the distinction was, he knew how Esau sounded versus Jacob. He knew how Esau smelled versus Jacob. He knew how Esau felt versus Jacob. So him not having the physical sight and understanding that he would have, he says, come near me, I pray you, that I may feel you. Let me see if you are really who you say you are. Because this was very important. If it wasn't important, why would he say this? Everything is written for a reason. This blessing that was supposed to happen was going to be it, Mishpachah. This is the it factor. This is what is coming down the pipeline. This was Isaac taking the keys of the kingdom and saying, here it is. But in order for me to give you, let me make sure it's the right person. This is why his eyes were dim. Okay? If his eyes wasn't dim, it would have been a different story. But the Most High allowed everything to fall into place accordingly. Verse 22 says, and Jacob went near unto Isaac, his father, and he felt him. So now Isaac is doing the physical touch. See, let me see how he feels. Okay. His hand. He's hairy, man. Okay. All right. This got to be my boy. He's hairy. But the voice don't sound, you don't sound raspy like you've been in the woods. You have that solid voice. It's something different. And he discerned him not because of his hand and hairy, and his brothers Esau's hand, so he blessed him. So he's like, okay, the voice sound like it, he feel like it, this got to be my boy. I'm going to bless him. Let's see what Jubilees 26, 15 to 18 says. Let's look at that a minute. Jubilees, let me open another tab. Jubilees 26, and let's look at verse 15 to 18. All right, Brother Mike, you ready?
Yes, sir.
15 to 18. Go ahead and read.
And Jacob said, because Yahuwah, your Elohim, caused me to find. And Isaac said unto him, come near, that I may feel you, my son, if you are my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because it was dispensation from heaven to remove his power of perception. And Isaac discerned not, for his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's, so that he blessed him.
All right. So you see, Mr. Carlos, let's dissect this a little bit. It says, because Yahuwah, your Elohim, caused me to find. See who's doing it? Yahuwah Elohim. He's the one that's orchestrating everything behind the scenes. Isaac said to him, let me feel you. You jump down here. Jacob went near. Isaac felt him. But the voice, he says, your voice don't sound as raspy as your brother, as it don't sound like Esau's raspy voice. It sounds like Jacob's, solid voice. And there's a difference. When our people are talking, we have a different way of speaking. We speak with authority. We have this energy in our voice. But Esau speaks a little different. It's like this, I don't know, it's like something isn't right when it comes to the way how they talk. Am I lying, Mishpachah? Am I making this up? I mean, am I the only person on earth experiencing this, or y'all experiencing the same thing?
Same thing, experience the same thing.
So Jacob was like, it's me, it's Esau. Isaac was like, your voice your voice don't sound like Esau. So it says, and he discerned him not, because it was what? It was a dispensation from heaven to remove his power and perception. Isaac discerned it not. This is very important, Mishpachah. Take note of this. The Most High, again, is making it cloudy for Isaac to see and to understand. He wanted Jacob to receive the blessing, because in Isaac's heart, Isaac was like, this is my boy, man. I'm giving him everything. He's manly. He go out there, he hunt. He bring me the best meats. It's not to say he didn't like Jacob, but Jacob, and I don't like to use the term mama's boy, because that's not what it was. He was more into the scripture. He was more into doing things around versus going out into the political world. You understand? And people have the perception of, oh, he was a mama's boy. He was home knitting and sewing and this kind of stuff. That wasn't Jacob. Just like how
he didn't smell like outside.
Right. Just like how today, when you go outside and your friend says, come on, let's go play some ball. Let's go do this. And you're like, no, I got to read. I got to study. You're like, you soft. They'll always tell you that. But then when later on the line, they're like, man, this dude has all of this stuff. He's smart. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing this. What do they have to show? Nothing. This is the point where Mosai made it that way. He says he removed Isaac's perception from understanding what was happening, and he placed it upon Jacob, so Jacob will have that blessing. Okay, let's continue. Get some more evidence on that. Genesis 27 and 26. 26 and 27, sorry.
And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which Yahuwah hath blessed.
That's a good smell. Boy, smell that raw earth on him. He's out there smelling like musk. That's what Esau smell like. Armpits and musk. Always out there hunting. You know when you go outside and you just come out the shower, you have that good butter on your body and everything. You got that good oil, olive oil on your skin, cocoa butter, whatever you put on your body, you're smelling good. You go outside for 5 minutes, you come back, you're like, man, I smell like I'm outside, man. The heat of the sun, the grass and everything just lands on you. It's 10 times for Esau. All right. There's a book somebody wrote over here. It says, why do white people smell like wet dogs when they come out of the rain? Now, am I the only person that ever thought about that? Put a one in the chat if y'all ever thought about that. And I found it interesting. I thought I was the only one on earth that they always smell like wet dogs sometimes.
It's sometimes.
Okay, I'll pull it up also. Why do white people smell like wet dogs when they come out of the rain? This is a book. You can look it up for yourself. But down here, why the father wanted to smell the remnant, because he was always in the field. Right? It says, on clothes and skin, trap particles, tiny bits of dust, pollen, and microscopic organic matter stick to your hair and clothing. This is why if you go outside and you're doing some barbecue and you come inside, your clothes smell like barbecue because you've been out there indulging in the whiffs and the woofs of the air, right? And it sticks to your clothing and your skin. You go take a shower, you put some fresh clothes on, you don't smell like smoke anymore. So Esau, being a man of the field, always out there, he had a distinct smell. And his father understood that. It says skin interaction right down here. Environmental molecules mix with your skin's natural oils and bacteria to create a distinct outdoor scent. So this is why you smell a certain way when you're outside doing certain things, and it's more so on certain people than some people. Okay, and this is not something weird. This is just nature itself. And this is how things were created. Again, when we're learning here, we're understanding the order of things. This is not something that we're trying to create like some type of a hate war or whatever it is. This is evidence. This is what it is. This is the facts. Okay. Let me see what the chat's saying. The chat says, and musty. Okay. A wet mop. The heat will bring that shoot out of you. Pressure. Yep. Wondering the same thing. Yeah, Mishpaka, I mean, and then they give you something called Febreze. So they can try and mask all of that stuff. They don't, a lot of them take the clothes, spray some Febreze, shake it, put it right back on, and they go out the door. Or to put all that Axe spray and cologne and perfume on them to cover up the smell that they naturally have, or the uncleanness that they have. We're going to see something right now that's going to shape your way of thinking and confirm certain things that we have been learning. So let's put this aside. Let's watch this video. This is very interesting. Hopefully it's not disturbing to some, but all eyes need to see this. All eyes need to see this, okay? I remember Brother Yehuda shared a video with me a while back, and I had to make my own video. So this is me making my own video of what was shared with me. Some evidence, Mishpaka, that you can't outrun. So fair use, fair use.
You be mine, you be mine, you be my neighbor. Many of these folks may be your neighbors, nurses, doctors, lawyers, politicians, teachers, restaurant workers, even co-workers.
As a white woman on Black TikTok and as a white woman who has visited, I think I'm at like 20 countries at this point, the whole concept that white Americans are not as cleanly as maybe other races or other cultures, it is true.
It is true.
Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, Kristen Bell, and Jake Gyllenhaal have all admitted they don't bathe themselves, and in some cases, they don't bathe their kids regularly. So, what do you make of this? Look, I think that these stories blew up, not just because it was a conversation about how frequently you bathe, like once every other day or whatever. It was about smell and dirt. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher and Dutch Shepherd and Kristen Bell were all like, we don't wash our kids until they reek. I mean, I'll admit, I'm definitely showering way less because I don't have to see y'all with your pretty faces every day or sit next to you. So I feel like I can definitely get away with that a little bit more because we're all stuck at home, and maybe that applies to kids too. So I don't know if that's the case with this story, but this story resonates with me a lot because maybe my parents would have been the ones who would have been called and said something's wrong with your daughter, because I was born and raised on a horse farm. We had one well, and it had to be shared between the family and the horses so that you could never use both at the same time.
I pause it there real quick because that makes no sense, Mishpaka. You have one well, and your excuse is to say because the horses are getting water, you can't shower. All you gotta do is schedule it. I'm going to shower before the horses get water. I'm going to do what I gotta do to maintain myself before. What kind of behavior is that? Is that a proper excuse, Mishpaka? All right, let's continue listening.
You had to water horses or take a shower, you'd have to call down at the stable. Are you guys watering horses? Because you had no water pressure, and you actually were at risk of actually reducing so much water that you ran out for a few hours. And so many times growing up, I was the kid who, after doing chores, I wasn't taking a shower. I'd be going to school, and literally kids would tease me saying, "You smell like horse."
Shower.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you wash?
Okay, I definitely go hair first.
Hair first?
Hair first.
Do you wash your hair every time?
Well, I only take like one shower every 6 days, so
So you start with hair.
start with hair.
And then
Then I'll normally do conditioner and then face wash. Then I get out.
there you go.
Esau's loving it, boy. He's like, yes, I do the same thing too.
She's in there just
No shame. It's not my past, it's my present. Never not shame.
And I'm sorry for your brothers and some of your sisters who have went after these nations in relationships. Sorry for y'all.
I do not wash my body.
at all. Yeah.
It's a waste of time. The soap like runs down you.
Sure.
You know, the soap's like,
Yo, absolutely. I'm on the
you
same
just kinda,
page.
like,
I'm
run
not on that train. I'm not fully bored, but like I have a ticket. I just don't know if I'm hopping on, you know.
Yeah, I remember this one. When you go to the hotels, these people are washing their laundry and stuff in the coffee machines. Yeah, I know the copy on this one is a little low, but if you look up the lady who and right now she's being sued for doing this nasty stuff. A lot of them have been doing it. She's not the only one that's been doing this, but been washing their underwears and stuff in the coffee machines, in the Keurigs and different things like that. And our people was asking them, what are you thinking? There's soap and water in the bathroom. Because you may not be able to go to the laundry facility downstairs if you're in a hotel or whatever it is, but there's soap and water, and you can lather that thing, and you can wash that stuff, and you can put it to dry and hang while you sleep at night. You get up in the morning, and you put your clothes back on if you have one set of clothes. There's no reason to be nasty. This is the whole point, okay? But there's a spirit upon them that they just act this way, okay? And when I say they, the majority, because you have, I like to give you, I don't know the specific number, but I'll just throw a number out there. This is O'Shea's number out there. It's a 90 to 10%. 90% nasty, 10% you will find 10% of them that are doing clean things. But majority of the nation is this way. And then in reverse, for Israel, There's 10% of Israel that runs after these people and act the same very way. But 90% of us, we're cut different from a different cloth. We're clean. So you have to understand how these things work. Okay, let's continue. This part of the video is a little low, so just bear with it.
Okay.
Nick?
Sure. My name is Aubrey.
And we are addicted to drinking our urine. And I have not drank water for years now.
So this guy here, like I said, he could be the nurse that tends to you. He could be the person that serves you at Burger King or the restaurant, at Walmart. He could be a butcher, doctor, police officer, your friendly neighbor. But he hasn't. Let me go back a little bit so you can hear it again. They drink their urine. Go back to right here.
And we are addicted to drinking our urine. And I have not drank water for years now.
Each day I'm consuming about a half gallon of fresh urine. Smells like buttery popcorn.
Right now, we're about to...
Smells like buttery popcorn, Mishpachah. Okay? And this is nothing new. Brother O'Shea just picked a few videos out of the hundreds and hundreds out there on YouTube because they're very proud of what they do. And he just selected just to show you a little insight of the characteristics of these people. Okay? Let's continue.
Take a pee shower.
It almost feels like a drug.
You hear what you said? Let me go back a little bit.
Pee shower.
It almost feels like a drug.
And some brothers from across are like, oh, look at her in the bikini. And sisters like, oh, look at his muscles. They're smelling like piss showers, okay?
Well, Brother O'Shea, was he over there filling his cup up? The
How it looks so good. How my makeup always looks so perfect. Or how I always have this natural glow. Here's my secret.
Okay, so she can give the secret of her natural glow now. How she looks so good, how her skin is soft. Okay? A lot of people have been doing this. This is nothing new.
Is it
yellow?
Oh, don't turn it off. That is,
No.
that's
Just don't
so
look at it.
yellow. It's like Gatorade yellow.
I want to see her drink it.
Just,
Here we go.
no.
3, 2. She's drinking it water.
Until I first drank my dog's pee, I was depressed, I was sad, and I had really bad acne.
So she was sad, she was depressed, she had really bad acne. Then she started consuming the urine from a dog. Okay?
Dog pee also has vitamin A in it. It has vitamin E in it. And
Get your vitamins from this, Mishpachah. You see how Esau thinks?
it has calcium. And it's also proven to help cure cancer.
Different dog.
Want a chip? No. Ready? Who wants chips? You want one? Not me.
Time to eat. See Esau? And trust me, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos out there that show this behavior. This is not like you're just picking one video. There's hundreds of videos out there. And then they'll offer you a glass of water. They'll share their lunch with you. They'll invite you over. And it's all love. It's all love.
So disgusting.
I'm going to be Marshall, and I enjoy eating ramen. In other cultures, it's their everyday life. Like, that's what they do. They have a big variety of meats, insects. But here in America, when I do it, people find it odd, weird. People come at me very negatively. But it's just something that I enjoy, and I like it. One more bite, because I can't stop eating it.
Can't stop eating it. You hear that? All right, I got two more, let me put up 2 quick videos because Brother Mike sent me something and then Brother King sent me something. And everybody sending me some stuff now. You can't make this stuff, Mishpachah. You cannot make this stuff up. Let me see what hold on, Brother Mike, give me 1 second. Pull this up. Brother Mike, say something while I find his videos here.
That's true. There's nothing to be said about that disgusting stuff.
All right, let me pull up this one. This is on. Can y'all see this video here? Yes, no? Can y'all see the video on the screen?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, let's play it.
Look at what the chefs made me today. Meat mountain for the Liver King. Because I keep stealing all the meat that they make. So I think what they tried to do was make me something
So
delicious.
Esau just loves it. It's a spirit. He can't help himself. All right, that's enough for that one. Let me see if I can get the one Brother King sent me. So I can pull up and see. I can share this. Share
Don't
this.
they call that? Don't they call that the carnivore diet or something like that?
I don't know, brother. They have all kinds of names for it. They come up with all types of names for that stuff. Freedom. Here we go. Let me do this. Give me 1 second, Mishpaka. Let me pull up this video here. Okay, close that out. Because again, a lot of these things that we're seeing, it's just the behavior that they have that is seen. And a lot of people don't understand. Here we go. People think it's normal. They make these things normal. All right, Brother King sent me this video, so let's watch it real quick and hear a piece of it. Brother, she's not making anything up. Everything is out there for you to see for yourself. Brother Shea didn't make it up, Mishpaka. Let me put it in the chat so y'all can have it. Copy. She's just confirming the same thing, that she don't know why it happens, but it happens. All right, so y'all can watch that day when y'all get a chance. You don't know why it happens, but it happens. Let's see. Rebbe sent me something here. Let's see. These articles. All right, I'm gonna pull out those. Rebbe, I'm gonna pull those articles up when I get to that point. I'm getting to that point just now, so I'll save that for when I get there. All right, let's continue, Mishpaka. So, what I share with y'all is just something that we see that's been happening, and it's not something that I'm making up. It's something that they are specifically doing that is catered to them. Okay, Jubilees 26, Brother Mike, verse 21 and 22.
And Isaac, his father, said unto him, Come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him and said, Behold, the smell of my son is
Boy, he smells like Esau. Smells good. Go ahead.
the smell of my son is as the smell of a full field which Yahuwah hath blessed.
Full field. So it's just not a field, but a full field. You get the whole experience of earth by smelling Esau. Huh?
The manure and everything.
Even the manure, Brother Mike?
Yes, sir.
Boy. You girl says it is true. I know that for a fact, as I am surrounded by them. You don't need to surround yourself by them, sis. You need to get out of there. All right, let's move on. Understanding the mind of Esau will explain the spirit that has been assigned to this nation, which makes them function the way they do. Now, this is from another class that I did, so we're just going to go through this real quick to move on. I'm not going to pull up Jubilees 15:31 and Jubilees 19:28. Y'all can do that, but it says the Most High placed other spirits upon them. All right, we showed that before. You can see it there. Psalms 58 and verse 3 talks about them being born. It says, so when they are born, they will not adhere to anything righteous. It says, the scripture says, as soon as they be born, straight into wickedness, because the Most High has put it upon them. We have to understand that, Mishpaka. There's nothing that we can do about it. It's part of the script. The earth is in control and everything is corrupted because of the wicked. Job talks about the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and we understand who that is, okay? So nothing new under the sun, Mishpachah. In the class we did, when they have no choice, remember this class? When I was doing this class, I was just laughing because I couldn't get around it. I was trying to find ways to help them out, but it didn't work, Mishpachah, because everything pointed to the spirits telling them what they had to do, and they had no choice. The spirit demand, they have to obey. They have to do what the spirits say. So we have to understand, Mishpachah, that everything that Esau does is because they have no choice. We see that all the things that they think, they say, they do, everything that they do has nothing to do with righteousness. It's all wickedness. We can't make this stuff, Mishpachah. This is their destiny. This is what they were designed and created for, okay? Here's some other classes we looked at. Kingdoms, 1, 2, and 3. That's the one I was telling you about with the pyramid. Rebbe did one, why does God hate Esau? And there's more. There's lots more of classes that we can pull from. But I'm just highlighting these just to show you where some of the evidence that we have. We've been doing the research for a long time and showing you, Mishpachah, that what we're talking about is what thus the Bible has been telling us. Nothing we're making up here. A mind that crosses lines. Now remember, the characteristics, behavior, how Esau was when he was younger, all the way to current his offspring, is the same. The minds hasn't changed because the spirits occupy those minds. A mind that crosses lines and have no boundaries, Mishpachah, becomes corrupted and blurred, which is known as a double-minded mind. And a double-minded mind is an unstable mind. And an unstable mind is a very dangerous mind. James 1 and verse 8, brother.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
All his ways. Not some of his ways, but all his ways. Okay, I'm going to pull up something here. Let me pull this aside. Let me pull some up. Give me 1 second. Okay. Pull this up here. Where's it? Preview. All right, here we go. All right, let's look at something here that has been highlighted. This is the Sabians. All right, and the highlighted part says, go ahead and read the highlighted parts for me, Brother Mike.
The Sabians divided into two populations just after the founding of Rome, which is described by Roman legend. This, you may read just the whole thing or just keep reading.
Yeah, read the whole thing down to right here. Read from here to here.
Okay. The division, however it came about, is not legendary. The population closer to Rome transplanted itself to the new city and united with the pre-existing citizenry, beginning a new heritage that descended from the Sabians, but was also Latinized.
So you see, Mishpachah, that's good for now. Let me see if you had anything else in here. We're going to get into more of this here shortly. So we're going to come back. Let me minimize that for me. We're going to come back and visit that because that's going to tie into the slides coming up just now. Let's scroll down. I'll come back to that. Let me get to that part. All right. So double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So Esau has the spirit that has made him double-minded. So one minute he'll be like, yeah, I'm going to do good. The next minute he's off the rockers doing something else. So we see that, Mishpachah. This is why we're not supposed to go after this way of life, because otherwise we'll be double-minded. The Torah makes us to have one track, righteousness, okay? And what they're trying to do is make you go off track. All right, so no boundaries translate to not having any laws that govern or protect. Remember, laws are put there. We're sheep. The laws are like a pen, a fence. They keep the sheep inside of the green pastures It keeps the wolves outside of the green pastures. And those laws, statutes, and commandments that we find ourselves keeping gives us life. What the system of the world ran by Satan and his minions, they removed those boundaries. It says, oh, we don't want no laws. Instead, chaos is encouraged, controlled by feelings and emotions. Do whatever you feel. This is where the phrase, do what thou wilt, or do whatever you want to do. That is the whole of that is your law. This is done by this person right here, an Edomite. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. So what they're telling you, Mishpachah, is do whatever you want to do it in love. That's basically what they're telling you to do. This is what Christianity pushes. Christianity pushes the love over the law versus loving of the law. See, the Most High, when Yeshua came on the scene, he was telling the disciples, all of the other people, love your brother. And by loving your brother, it's part of keeping the law. They switched the whole thing around. It says, get rid of the Old Testament, so-called Old Testament. I did the class, Battle of the Testaments. Get rid of all of that and let's deal with only love, love, love. Not understanding that it's not about love, it's about loving the law, which covers everything else. John 14 and 15, brother.
If you love me, keep my commandments.
That's simple. If you love the Messiah, you will keep his commandments. But what the world is pushing is love over the law. And this is what Christianity is pushing. And I'll prove to you that Christianity is of the world. I'll show you. Love under will. It must be directed by your true will. I'll just highlight that part. This is what the love under the will means. That you are the one, your will. But let's see what Jeremiah 17 and 9 says. Jeremiah 17 and 9. Let's see what Jeremiah says about the love and the will. They will make up all kinds of stuff and they'll tell you that. All right, read that for me, brother.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
So the will of man comes from the heart. And if you follow your heart, you would follow wickedness. This is why we go according to the Most High's will. Not our will, not how we feel. Because how we feel is only going to bring us death and destruction. Okay? So when we look at the bigger picture, Mishpachah, they're pushing love over the law. We are supposed to follow the love of the law. Christianity is the world's most powerful religion and largest religion in the world. How so? Let's see. Read that right there for me, brother, down here. Christianity
is generally considered the most powerful religion globally.
That's all we need. That's all we need globally. Out of all of the countries and families on the earth, this religion has been pushed. We're going to see why it has been pushed. Read the other one. Christianity is the
largest religion in the world with an estimated 2.3 to 2.6 billion adherents worldwide. It
That's all we need.
accounts for, okay.
That's all we need. They can read the rest on the screen. Let me pull this to the side. Let's look at the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 7. Because our Messiah told us something to look out for. And I want y'all to read this for yourself. Matthew 7 and 13. Is it? This is what I wanted? Am I in Matthew?
Going to chapter 8.
Okay. Okay. Matthew 7 and 13. Read that for me.
Enter you in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in there.
If Christianity is the world's largest and most powerful, then isn't it the widest, Mishpachah? Think about that. I just laid for you. You figure it out. You look at it for yourself. But the small little gate that leads you back to the pasture, green pastures, that keeps the Torah, where it's fenced around, We don't want to follow that. We want open pastures. And open pastures is full of mallow and nettle bushes and all kinds of different things. All right, Jubilees 35 and 13.
And Isaac said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob, who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him.
Now, I've brought this out before. We have brought this out before and showed how the seed of Esau thinks. Now, this is Isaac's testimony after the blessing. He already blessed Jacob, and he already blessed Esau. And now, later on, he's seeing how things are all falling into place. He's like, man, all this time I thought my boy Esau was going to be good, but he turned to be the rotten apple. And he's saying that nothing that he does is righteous. It's only violent. Then we saw that in the name, just in the name, fierce. His characteristics. And everybody around him, all the nations that team up with him, have the same characteristics. Verse 14.
And now my heart is troubled because all of his deeds. And neither he nor his... You were saying something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For there are those who will be destroyed from the earth and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham and gone after his wives and after their uncleanness and after their error, he and his children.
So when they tell you Esau is no longer, if Esau was no longer here, the earth would be at peace. Since the earth is not at peace, and we see every single detail of his character that still flows in every government, in every place, we know that this prophecy has not been done yet. All his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved. So we know that the Most High says they will be destroyed. He was created to be destroyed. But a lot of people don't believe that. They believe otherwise. But I'm reading what I'm reading in front of me. It's telling me exactly what it's telling me. From the earth, he will be rooted out from under heaven. He's not linked to the luminaries like we were blessed. Okay? For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham. Abraham saw that, and Abraham called it out and says, the Most High showed me that this particular boy here is going to be off. Continuing his character, it was spiteful and disobedient. This is Genesis 26, 34, 35. And then we can jump to Genesis 28, 8 and 9. Go ahead and read, brother.
And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judah, the daughter of Beri, the Hittite, and Bashmath, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
Imagine that. You as parents, and this one child is just giving you grief. You just can't rest good. You can't, everything you do, you got to spend more time and energy on this one individual child. And they can't see it. They're smiling every day. They're all happy. They're all doing their thing. They don't care. You, on the other hand, are just trying to just live. And they're giving you grief. Verse 8 and 9 of 28.
And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nabajah, to be his wife.
So he knew that he was giving his father and mother problems, but he didn't care. He doubled down. He says, "Oh, okay. I went to Cain. I went to Ham's family. I'm not going to Ishmael's family now. I'm gonna do more." But Isaac didn't understand that. Rebecca understood that. And then later on, Isaac saw that. Let's look at Jubilees 25:1.
And in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and spake unto him, saying, My son, do not take thee a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau, your brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they had embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. For all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil.
Now, we just saw the video, some videos. That's just a few videos. Take your time, go out there on the YouTube, and you can find all the evidence is there. Rebecca was witnessing this firsthand. We had a way of keeping ourselves clean and doing things. These other women, they don't care. Walk around like onions and all kinds of stuff and just do whatever they want to do. And that is a type of characteristics that Esau loved. It says it embittered her soul with all their unclean deeds. So she experienced that. They all experienced that from his type of character. Okay, Mishpachah? Everything that we're reading here and witnessing here is the evidence of what we're dealing with firsthand. Now let's go to the birthright now. We're going to be, what I'm going to do is I'll make this a part 2 because it's almost time to close. I'm going to go through, let me see here a minute, because I don't want to rush any of this. This is a lot of information that we're going to cover some more. But let's go through the birthright, and then we're going to say shalom after that and continue the rest, because there's a lot to cover, Mishpachah. I want to make sure y'all get the full essence of it. We're not rushing. All right, let's look at Joshua 27, verse 1 and verse 3-4.
Third, and Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt.
So he always would go hunting. You remember, he was a man of the field. He loved going out there and he loved hunting. Let's pull this aside a minute. Let's get Jubilees, because I want to make sure I connect everything. Jubilees 26, verse 1-2, and then verses 4. We're going to read verse 1-2. Let me go down a little bit. Okay, go ahead there now. I'll scroll down.
And in the 7th year of this week, Isaac called Esau, his son, his elder son, and said unto him, I am old, my son, and behold, my eyes are dim in seeing, and I know not the day of my death.
So remember, I'm just going back now to show you that Esau loved hunting and he was called upon to go hunt, right? Let's read verses 2, and then we're going to read verses 4 after.
And now take your hunting weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field, and hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me savory meat, such as my soul loveth, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you before I die.
You know, they're always out there trying to hunt and cook meats and stuff. All right, let's look at verses 4.
And Esau went forth early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home to his father.
That's all we need from that. Let's go back over here now, and let's read verses 3 of chapter 27.
And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days.
So even Hamite king, Nimrod, who was at the time, because you remember, somebody is overtaking somebody now. In the chat, what was Nimrod famous for? In the chat, you could answer, Brother Mike, if you know it.
For fighting, right? For war.
Somebody says hunting. Keeper said hunting. Hunting. Hunting is correct. He was a mighty hunter. He was the best hunter at that time before Esau popped up on earth. Remember, mighty hunter. Now, who stole that title from him? The guy with the bow on the screen. So Nimrod was observing Esau all his. He's like, man, this dude coming up, he out there slinging and killing, boy. For a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the day. So now he was like, man, we got to get rid of these people. They're coming up too strong, too fast. But he didn't know that the Most High was setting up Esau to take over the world. Nimrod didn't understand it. Remember, Nimrod was the first powerful ruler at that time. All right, verse 27.
And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men.
So now Nimrod's out there minding his business, doing his thing. Esau is hunting now. Esau's on the hunt. See, you see the picture over here? He's out there in the weeds. In the weeds, just looking. Just looking at Nimrod operate. Go ahead, verse 5.
And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself from Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness.
Now, I don't know if y'all have ever seen, there's some videos. I didn't pull one. Maybe I could probably pull one next time, but you will have a, let's say, a cheetah. He's in the bush like this, just lurking, looking at the antelope. But in the background is a lion looking at the cheetah, and the cheetah don't even know the lion's looking at him. This is what Esau was doing. Esau was looking at Nimrod, looking at somebody else. You get it? So he's there hunting, and the hunter is being hunted by the greater hunter. Verse 6 now.
And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field.
That means the early part of the day, okay? Because that's when the animals come out. When it's hot outside, you won't find no animals. They're under the tree, they're in the bushes, they're in caves, crevices. They're out of the heat. But early morning, this is why the hunters, if you notice Esau, they go out hunting between the hours of 4 in the morning and 8. That's the time they go out hunting. And then in the evening, sometimes they'll go out between, I want to say, when the sun about to go down, 6 to about 8 again. So somewhere around that time when it's a little bit cooler. Because the animals come out to eat and to drink at that time. So they know the timing. They're out there hunting in the cool of the day. Verse 27.
And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were. When Esau started suddenly from his lurking place and drew his sword and hastened and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head.
So this is how Nimrod the great, the mighty hunter, was slain by the new upcoming virus of the earth called Esau. Verse 8.
And Esau fought a desperate fight with the 2 men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword.
So that when they call out to him is a term that is used where it's not a fair fight. You're not fighting with rules. You just come in and you're doing whatever it is. So they're looking to match face to face. Esau is being strategic and he's hunting. He's coming around, he's picking them off. Okay? This is how he operates. Verses 9. We're going to be stopping here shortly after a couple more slides, okay? Verse 9.
And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left him to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voice of those 2 men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the 2 men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness.
So they heard the cry of these soldiers out there fighting for their lives, trying to defend their king Nimrod. And when they came, what they found was the men dead. Verses 10.
And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's fathers had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. And he ran and concealed them in his house.
Now, remember I told you, if something is written, there is importance of it being written. There's a reason why it's written there. Just don't overlook it and say, oh, it's just part of the story. It's recorded for a reason. So Esau now, this is why when we read in the Bible, we don't see the reason why Esau is coming back in from the field hungry, tired, rushing Jacob. We're going to get to that in part 2, because we're going to stop here after this slide and we're going to jump on part 2 later, just because it's a lot to cover and I want to make sure we cover everything properly. So Esau, I'm setting up the story to show you how it all ends. Esau comes in, he's escaping because he just finished killing off these Hamites over here, and the whole army, it's like you go in there to a hornet's nest, you pick out one and then the nest starts running. What do? You run off. You just don't stay there and get stung. So he ran off, escaped, but when he ran, he took the garments that Nimrod had. This is very important. This plays a part in his dominance for the earth. Let's look at Joshua for the last 7. We're going to look at Joshua chapter 7, and we're going to read verses 24 to 31. Open this big, 24 to 31. 1 second. 24 to 31. All right, go ahead and read from 24 to 31, brother.
And the garments of skin which Elohim made for Adam and his wife when they went out of the garden were given to Cush. For after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to Elohim, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark, and they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father, and he took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begot his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. And Cush also and Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments. And Elohim gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon them the animals before Yahuwah.
Now, this was before, that's all we need there, brother.
Okay.
This was before Nimrod turned, because the Torah was there long before. The law, statutes, and commands was long before Adam had it. Like you said, we saw it was passed down. Ham knew it also. Ham passed it on, but they didn't stick to them because the Most High didn't give it to them in that regards as to keep. It was given to Israel, to Jacob. And we're going to see some more later on to clarify more of that. But going back to the garments, I wanted to bring this out because it is very important. Let's go back up here again. Which Elohim made. The Most High put his hands upon this and gave it to Adam. It had power to it. When you look, when you do the research, there's something called in the spirit world something called familiar objects, where a spirit can attach itself to something. Same thing that we see in the Torah when Moses, he had to cover himself with the veil. The staff had, there's different things that the spirit can attach itself to. The Most High Spirit also was attached to this to some degree, where the garments had some power to it. They understood this. Okay, it was passed all the way down. This is why when we see in verses 30, it says Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments, and Elohim what? Gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth, and he was a mighty hunter in the field. He hunted animals, he built an altar, and he offered them up to Yahuwah. So this is before he turned. Now when you read down, it tells you how he turned and what happened. The garment still had some power to it. Esau knew this. This wasn't something that was kept secret. This was passed on to generations. They know this stuff. This is why today they're out there digging up all types of stuff, trying to find all types of potions and staves and cloths and rags and pots and pans and whatever's attached to certain people that had certain powers, because certain things are attached to them. So now when we go back here, we can close this out. When we go back over here, we will see that Esau understood this, and he stole those garments and he concealed them in the house. So we're going to pause a minute. Let me go back to the beginning here. Let me do this here. Go all the way up to the beginning. We're going to come back to this screen here. So Mishpachah, there's a lot that we're going to cover. We have a lot more slides to go through, but for time's sake, we're going to stop on today's class and we're going to continue, most high willing, next time with part 2 to get in more of it. We're just scratching the surface of what we're dealing with today and how it applies to the people that we are dealing with today. Brother Shay, how can you prove that? We'll see that in part 2. I hope we uncover some things in part 1 that showed us who we're dealing with and what the Most High is blessing us as Israelites compared to them as our enemy. Because yes, they are our enemy. But he did say, don't fight with them, just leave them. Focus on keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and he will do the rest. Problem with a lot of our people, we want to fight with them. Because they did atrocities to us, we want to go back and we want to fight with them. The war is not for us. They have been warring with us from the womb. The Most High is the one guiding us through that. We just have to be obedient, be patient, sit back and let the Most High do his job. Do your part, which is keeping the commandments. He will do his part. We're not supposed to go out there in heathen's business and worry about those things. Stay in your lane and focus on the Most High, okay? I hope we all learned something today. Brother Mike, thank you for reading.
Thank you, sir. Great class.
Thank you, Mishpachah, for listening. Rebbe had sent some things which it was going to be on part 2, because what he sent is very important. That ties in what I have for part 2. So I didn't pull those out yet. We're going to make those connections, and we're going to have more information that's going to help us understand what we're dealing with and why we're supposed to be more obedient to the Most High. Okay, the whole point of this class is for us to be obedient to the Most High. We are above, we are special, we are called, we are supposed to be holy, separated, come out from her, my people. That's the whole point. Not the Christian doctrine of love all, come all, let's stick together, kumbaya. That's the lies that they're spinning. Okay? So hopefully we learned something today. Elder, your hands is up. You can go ahead and close out in prayer. Just remember, keep Rebbe in prayer and the rest of all of us, the whole house of Israel. Pray for your children. We all make it in the kingdom. Okay?
All praises to the Most High.
All praises.
It was a wonderful class, Brother O'Shea. I want to thank the Lord for you, allowing you to present this wonderful class today. Very educational. And also I want to thank the Lord for Brother Mike that read very, very fluently. So let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for your blessing today on this holy Shabbat day. You really bless our soul. We pray that thou may bless the offerings that was given. We ask you to bless the food we're about to eat. We pray that thou may reach down your hands upon those that are sick, especially Brother Johanna and others. We pray that thou may heal them from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet. Bless us all, bless the food as we're about to eat. We give you thanks and praise because we love you and we thank you. We ask all these blessings in Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Let the words of our mouth, meditation of our heart be acceptable in your sight. O Abba Yahweh, who is our strength and redeemer.
All right, Mishpachah, I want to say thank you all again. Shalom. Get your rest until next Shabbat. I want to say shalom to Mishpachah.